When the curtain falls, risk it all, hold nothing back. Seize the day we must attack. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding.
Hello all. Welcome to Affliction Esports Week 2 regular season. I'm Air Scott, here to bring you the cast with my boy, Coach Bubby. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Ready to kind of get into a great kind of game, best of 3 here between Team HyberNation and Team TSQ Academy so far. So I think it's going to be a great game. Hoping for 3 games and looking for some exciting matches here.
Yeah, definitely. Whenever you have a best of 3, you always want it to go to the third, just to get that neck and neck tiebreaker that we love to see, especially when it's the underdog 0-2 comeback that we love.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think those are always the comebacks that we want to see and whatnot. And especially with their week 1 kind of concluding up, we're gonna have to see who's gonna be kind of taking the lead here and who's going to be kind of trailing behind in week 2 so far. So we'll definitely get there and see after we get there. Kind of looking at champ select.
So if I want to just point out a quick thing about champ select, I'm not sure much about the players. This is my first time here. Happy to be here, but I do know that a lot of the priority picks are centered around bottom lane and jungle right now. The Moonstaff has been slightly nerfed. It's about to get nerfed again, but we are not currently on that patch just yet. So the Moonstone Renewer with Staff of Flowing Water, junglers like Nidalee, like Lilia, comboed with things like Misfortune, with support Lulu, even running Lulu mid, Lulu top, Karma, Soraka, Seraphine in the mid lane, and of these more old style 2-person funnel comps are really popular, extremely dominant in pro play right now. It would be really exciting if we're able to see that into this draft style. If not, I'm expecting probably just to see a lot of centered picks around stuff like Jhin, Kai'Sa, and maybe a Samira with like a lot of engage. It's usually what we see around this elo play.
Speaking of Jhin, I think one of Team TSQ Academy's, I think one of their starter players and captain, being salty, I know Jhin is probably one of his most played champions and definitely something that maybe banned away from the side, from their side and whatnot. But if it does go through, I know that is kind of the bread and butter for being salty on Team TSQ Academy.
Yeah, definitely. Are we good to go? We are waiting a little bit here. Okay. Just making sure I had the right link that I was looking at here. Underdog picks too that I haven't seen a lot recently, but are extremely strong and competitive play. I do a lot of other tournaments and things, so I don't see them too often, but I would really like to see a big shout out to Anivia, who's extremely strong right now, very team oriented. Corki's making a big comeback. We've seen a lot more Aurelion sold than we have. He's one of the roaming kings. And then definitely seeing a lot more Camille in the top lane, Galio in the mid lane. A lot of these more like lane dominant bruiser type team comps too. So I'm excited to go into this draft to see what these teams want to do. There's a lot of versatility in drafting style that we can pick right now. It looks like it's going to be some very quick bans. Both teams know exactly what they want to ban. Not stalling this time around. They are ready to go.
Yeah, no, so, initial bans coming out from HyberNation and Team TSQ Academy so far. We got Talon and the Seraphine from HyberNation, followed by the Cassiopeia and the Olaf. So definitely the Olaf, strong jungler in this current patch, is banned out. Make sure they don't want that. And then there you go. There is Bean Salty's Jhin taken away. They don't want to risk it.
And the Kai'Sa ban, the traditional double 80 carry ban. We like to see Seraphine, just one of the strongest, if not the strongest champion in the game right now. You can flex your support, you can flex your mid. Some people have even flexed your top. It's just so dominant. You got to make sure you take that encore for these long-range team fight engage or disengage snipes that she's able to take. And then Cassiopeia is a little bit of an odd ban. Not sure if that's a target ban against a specific player, but if you are running a lot of mobility, that can definitely put a huge thorn in your side when she drops a miasma and tethers you to the ground and makes you unable to use your dashes. So also a pretty solid ban from them there too.
Yeah, that grounding is always just a really disrupting feature in Cassio's kit so far. So they really want to make sure they take that out. But even when it comes to disruptors themselves, Hecarim and Galio making it through for the first couple of picks for Team Solo Q Academy. And I think those are really strong kind of frontline picks for them to kind of do the job they need to do. Galio certainly can be flexed in the mid lane or to support, so they do have some flexibility going in there, but that is going to be a Mumu picked up for HyberNation as they're trying to close out their first round picks.
Yeah, definitely a very flexible picking phase so far. Galio, we didn't know exactly where he's going to go, and then Senna, same thing. She can play AD carry or support if she needs to. Both have locked in the junglers. Very traditional to see those jungle locks and very high priority picks off the bat. And having shown the Galio most likely mid lane, they're going to decide to pick up this Pantheon mid, which is still flexible into Senna AD carry with a Pantheon support. So very strong drafting so far from Team HyberNation.
Yeah, no, I think both not really willing to show exactly all their cards so far, and I'm really a fan of the Pantheon. You know, whether it is in the mid lane, whether it is support, or it's not going to be jungle this time, but it certainly has a possibility in general to do that. But that looks like going to be an Ashe pickup for Team Solo Q Academy in response to the Senna. And so, once again, so far, I think definitely adding a lot of the kind of CC that we see on Team Solo Q Academy. Ashe is a great pickup in addition if you want to kind of certainly make these team fighting picks and kind of scrappy team fights that you want.
Yeah, with both of these team comps, there is an Anivia ban that comes through. Must do on that Anivia ban, an absolute must have. Cannot let that through. It is counter engage while having strong pick potential. Both these teams are very heavily centered around fast, hard engages with a lot of CC. Senna with Glacial Augmentation and her AoE on her W, Amumu Bandage Toss and Curse of the Sad Mummy, Pantheon with Ultimate and W, Galio with Justice Crash, Shield of Durant or his ultimate, Hecarim, Onslaught of Shadows, Ashe's Enchanted Crystal Arrow. I mean, left and right, both these teams are just able to kite out or pick these fights so hard. You have to ban out the Anivia. But I want to say, if they don't ban out a Malphite and either one of these teams decides to pick that up, that could make or break the game. Malphite and Ornn right now are extremely strong in the top lane. And then not taking them off the board can completely activate either of these team comps. We see the Sylas and the Nautilus. Nautilus does complement the Senna. Really good into that. A lot of pick potential, adds to it some tank. A lot of counter engage if he does decide to use his ultimate as Hecarim's diving into the backline. Stalls Galio out, stalls Ashe out. But I think if Malphite gets through, that's going to be a very high priority pick for TSQ.
Yeah, I think, Malphite, I think on any roster, but then especially if TSQ will just make this roster kind of come to life and really pop. And I'm really interested to see where TSQ, I guess, decides to put the priority in everything. And just because even when it comes to raw stats, I think a lot of them are in the upper echelons of stat-wise, even compared to HyberNation so far. But, the one kind of stick out for HyberNation is their mid laner, kind of making it up to the top when it comes to their damage share, almost kind of at that 542 per minute, kind of rivaling, Being Salty's damage numbers. And so really going to see where they're going to put that kind of focus and even trying to leave some flexibility for HyberNation to pick up, because, Team Solo Q just picked up the Victor. So HyberNation does get that chance to counter pick, and that looked like it's going to be the Azir for Kopek in the mid lane.
Yeah, Pantheon is 4-way flexible. You can do top, jungle, mid, AD carry, and support. So we still don't know for sure exactly how they're going to fit him into that team. Looks like we are going to get Senna support, Xayah mid, Pantheon top with a Mumu jungle and Azir mid. So pretty strong team comp. Amumu is pretty much their only engage. I'm very surprised that the Malphite didn't get picked to finish off the really strong, hard AoE engage from HyberNation. I think we're going to find that the Azir ultimate is going to do really good for disengaging, but when they're the ones trying to force the engage, their team comp isn't super solid at locking people down past the Amumu ultimate. And with how much reverse TSQ Academy has on their team, I think HyberNation is going to have to play this extremely smart if they want to be able to pick these fights aggressively, especially if they're pushing in to objectives late.
Yeah, aggressive is the name of the game for TSQ Academy. And, you know, I'm really actually interested to see where HyberNation decides to kind of go direction-wise with their game plan, just because, you know, you kind of notice on that board, unless Pantheon kind of goes tank, you realistically have 4 squishies and an Amumu. So when it comes to team fighting, you're going to have a lot of damage potential up there, but at the same time, you really don't have a lot of frontline to do that. So I'm interested to see if they want to focus more on kind of side lanes vision and try to avoid this kind of all-out brawl that TSQ has kind of drafted for.
Yeah, definitely. The Ashe AD carry with the Galio support bottom lane puts a lot of bot side pressure onto the Senna Pantheon. Very aggressive bottom lane. Senna early game has some pretty solid self peel, but if she pushes too far forward and she doesn't have her snare up, she doesn't have her mist up because she kited into the fight, she's basically going to be left with her pants at her ankles for anything that Hecarim, Renekton Teleport, Galio, Ashe want to do. They overstep at all. They have no real disengage to get out from Ashe's permaslow. Galio gets to just walk up on them with a shielded run, get that full taunt, get the full airborne. Slow. Hecarim gets to come in. Renekton gets to teleport in. Victor probably going to run teleport this game too. Do the double teleport. 3 champion global pressure that they're looking to do. 4 champion global pressure with the Ashe arrow, actually. So very strong map pressure this entire game. I think I would have liked to see the Galio mid. Renekton still is a pretty solid pick. I think it's going to be a really easy top lane for him into the Pantheon if he plays it correctly, but he's really going to have a hard time finding his place in this team comp and in these team fights later in the game. Everybody wants to collapse, and Renekton's not really amazing at collapsing. His DPS falls off, and he's pretty tanky, but you already have a Hecarim and a Galio, and Renekton can't complement the dive too much, so maybe he falls back and just tries to play some peel game off of, you know, Azir and Pantheon's counter engage, or he's just gonna flash on and try and take out the center of Xayah as fast as he can, but Xayah with their ultimate is gonna be really hard to collapse on. So definitely think in the drafting phase, HyberNation is gonna have an easier time engaging these fights, but if they do it wrong, it's gonna get completely reversed on top of them, and TSQ Academy is gonna reverse sweep any of these engages that HyberNation goes for.
Right, and you know, even in addition to just kind of the straight up engage that they have, there's also, I mean, we've seen it kind of plenty of places so far, but I'm assuming that Blue Chocolate is probably going to be looking for that teleport, and you can always never count out the Renekton flank that will always kind of tear apart this rather squishy backline, or most line of HyberNation so far. So really going to be interesting to see how these teams play out and where they're going to be and whatnot. So, you know, as picks are finalized and everything, we definitely see team comps is definitely exactly where we kind of expected to where it needs to be. But I think that the one danger right now, at least I'm currently looking at, is that bot lane matchup between the Xayah and the Senna and the Ashe and the Galio. I just think that they're either going to have to really just chill there and hope to get some ganks from the Mumu, because I feel like that Tet's Galio is going to need to be really aggressive to kind of keep them on the back foot.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be who can get the level 2 priority first, apply the pressure. It's double range versus Ashe and Galio. So if Galio gets poked out too fast, he'll have Relic Shield, so he'll be able to execute the minions, trying to hit that level 2 first if he can. You know, gets on top of the center of the Xayah, can burn a level 2 flash, especially if Hecarim starts his top side clear down for a level 3, level 4 gank with Ghost. We're probably going to see a lot of aggression into this bottom side. Amumu's a lot weaker of a jungler early game. Even in mid game, Hecarim does outshine him a lot better at counter engaging than Amumu is. Amumu, if he's not going in with the bandage toss and locking everybody down with some follow-up, he doesn't do too much. So I think it's going to be a lot of aggression in the bottom side. We're going to definitely see a slugfest from Renekton and Pantheon top, some poke from Victor and Azir, but I'm expecting a lot of the action to be focused in this bottom side, and it's all going to be dictated by who gets to level 2 first and who pokes the other out of lane to get that early game priority.
Early game priority indeed. We're going to see who's going to be taking game 1 in Affliction Esports Week 2, and we'll get back to you with the game after this break. Welcome back, Affliction Esports Week 2, Game 1 between Team Solo Q Academy and HyberNation so far. We're on the Rift so far. It looks like it's going to be a standard 5-point start for both teams. Early award in that river bush, but nothing too fancy and no fancy level 1 invades, at least so far.
Yeah, very early ward, actually dropping that at about 30 seconds. Just running in with that early game home guards basing, picking up the sweeper and going bottom side. That's not going to tell him if Amumu tries to go for any kind of invade. But to be fair, it's against an Amumu, so you know, what's the sad mummy going to do? He's not really going to go and take a Hecarim's red buff. But still just a little bit early. It does scout out the invade, possibly saving this Victor's life. So still solid to put that in. They decide to push through for the invade anyways. Possibly trying to bait them out or just get a deep board.
HyberNation setting up camp so far in the side of Team Solo Q Academy red buff. Looks like they're ultimately just here just to get a little scouting mission. Grabbing that ward, gonna be able to actually get a decent amount of information with that. They are spotted out though, as Blue Chocolatey does drop the ward over there, and in response, Hecarim stays at that blue buff, but is aware of that knowledge now.
Oof, yeah, a huge mistake here by HyberNation. Amumu is going to start his camp solo at about 150 as the weaker jungler in this matchup with lower priority early game. It's going to be very rough for him to come back from that. I think they should have just pushed through anyways and just tried to take it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, especially when you're in a Mumu and everything, you really need that leash to kind of get a jump start with your jungle, especially kind of, yeah, like you said, being the weaker side of the jungle. It's like, cool, you had that information, but in the end, now you're having a leashless red on your side, and you're just set behind because now the Esteros Hecarim just kind of already has an advantage.
Yeah, I do like red comps drafting a little bit more.
Oh wait, there's already going to be an early level to engage so far as HyberNation, sorry, not HyberNation, HyberNation's actually been taken down so far as Team Solo Q Academy does go for a level 2 engage, but ultimately just Summoners blown mainly from the side of HyberNation.
Yeah, heal, exhaust, and flash from HyberNation coming out for just the Ignite from Galio. He did almost die to the turret shot, but because I didn't have that level 2, she couldn't Blade Caller her feathers back and get that snare. Ends up being a huge lead, like that level 2 priority that they wanted to get. Galio with the Relic Shield was able to push through for that, and this is going to be a huge advantage for them, not only because of the lane style that we're seeing, but because Hecarim's going to be so far ahead of this Amumu. There's no way that HyberNation is going to be able to constantly put this pressure in the bottom side to match being down these summoner spells for the first 5 minutes of this game.
No, I mean, you know, even kind of looking at the stats from week 1, you know, being Salty and Tet, they're not the type of bot lane to really kind of roll over and die. I'm certain that they're going to be, I think already you can see the Hecarim kind of pathing towards this bot lane. They're ready, or at least trying to prep to sort of punish these kind of blown summoners. And even when it comes to the stat-wise, when you're looking at the impact efficiency rating, which, you know, I believe it explained in chat, was the kind of custom rating based on OP.DG scores by the Affliction Esports team, you know, his efficiency rating is tremendous compared to everyone else, almost over 20 points to number 2. But it looks like Blue Chocolatey is going to be walking away from a little short gank from the Ouchie Mouse and Booty Bang Billy so far. But the Hecarim's going to swing by, does blow the ghost, but unfortunately, no result in the end.
Yeah, a little overzealous trying to get that gank mid. Azir still has teleport, so if they just chunk him out, he's going to teleport back. Still has flash. Got the mana back to even just use his Soldier Shurima Shuffle slide out of there. So very little gank potential. One of the reasons we pick Azir in these competitive style drafts is because he's just so hard to kill. And we're seeing the massive sustain that Senna's able to apply here, even with this huge early game pressure in Ash's favor. They just heal back up. You have all your pots, you have your biscuits, you have Senna's healing, and it ends up just being TSQ Academy who has to base first on bottom side.
Yeah, you know, and, you know, whether that was kind of whether they were forced to, or maybe they decided to, you know, I mean, I guess I'd say they're relatively smart back, just due to the fact that, yeah, now you see Punchinello and Fiendfire backing. I believe that they will have a slight item advantage when it comes to that, although I just realized Punchinello does have a little bit more CS. I mean, kind of a wash, but in the end, the wave is kind of crashing towards them, and so they're going to be able to hopefully pick that up and patch up that CS lead.
Yeah, it's going to be a 5 attack damage lead, but Xayah being able to pick up these boots is going to help her out-kite this Ashe quite a bit. Being that they are both lethal tempo AD carries, there's no real rune advantage here that we normally see in Ashe's favor when she plays against champions that use Hail of Blades, press the attack, fleet footwork or whatever else they run that kind of hurts them a lot more and gives her that early game advantage.
Yeah, short trade over as the Ouchie Mouse does try and get a pick in the mid lane. Corazon II is going to have to blow his flash in return, but there is kind of vision pings from the side of HyberNation so far as they're really trying to scout out this bot lane. Ocean Drake is up for the taking. There is no wards from either side directly in the pit, so but yeah, Team Solo Q Academy is there first and therefore has priority.
Yeah, we already have a Sheen on Hecarim. Galio is going to just push that wave in, rotate up for this Drake. Blue team being shoved in. Azir having to base, not even using his teleport to get back to lane. They have no priority to contest this, and this should be a free 6.5 minute Drake for them. Especially being Ocean Drake, heavily impacts the sustain that they're playing against. Azir, super hard to kill, corrupting potions. You have the Senna in the bottom side. Corrupting Potions, topside Pantheon, they're all going for these more sustain-oriented lanes where they're going to ride it out. And then now you have an Ocean Soul on the enemy team with more aggressive picks that match your sustain. Hecarim's way ahead of the Mumu. All the playmaking potential is in TSQ Academy's favor right now.
Yeah, playmaking indeed so far, as, a lot of the champs on Team Solo Q Academy is reaching their level 6 points, if not already. Being Salty and Tet, they're level 5, they're getting near level 6, but certainly they are close to getting pretty explosive, and I wouldn't be surprised if Team Solo Academy tries to look for something within the next minute or so.
Yeah, everybody's going to be hitting level 6. We're going to start getting our global ultimates. Ashe's Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Galio's ultimate. Pantheon's got teleport, Azir's got teleport. There's 4 teleport. Everybody's got teleport this game. Globals. Zamula comes in bottom side.
In the bottom lanes, the Ouchie Mouse and the rest of the bot lane from HyberNation is trying to go counter engage via the TP from Blue Chocolate. Okay, actually from Corazon II. He tries to go on with the Death Ray, does not find the damage he needs, but that is enough to dissuade the bot lane of HyberNation to back off.
Yeah, I would have much rather seen that teleport be from Renekton.
Wait, it's not done just yet. And actually, the Ouchie Mouse is going to be able to grab first blood on the Corazon II as he gets caught out in a back-and-forth scuffle in the bottom side river.
Yeah, Red Team really kept pushing forward into that play with a massive numbers disadvantage, knowing that Hecarim is taking the Rift right now. They can just back out and give up lane priority for a minute, and they'll come out ahead on objective control, but having the Victor be the one who teleports instead of Renekton, Azir just roaming down, not even forced to use his ultimate, and a much more CC and engage-oriented ultimate that Azir has compared to Victor. It really wasn't in Red Team's favor to push forward, so this first blood is pretty nice for Blue Team. Hecarim's going to match it by picking up that Rift Herald, though, so it'll even out in gold.
Yeah, and the one thing you can kind of talk about the TPs, and I think the one thing that's actually really tough for Renekton and both Pantheon is that I think their TPs can just be very easily interrupted. Oh, wait, hold on. There's going to be a Galio taken down in the bot lane as Xayah rips through. There's going to be equal action going up in the top lane as Rift Herald is going to be dropped. They're looking to get some plates. I don't think they're going to dive against that Pantheon, but I very well could be wrong. There goes the stun so far. The Onslaught Shadows does kind of go wide a little bit. He does start taking aggro. The shield from Pantheon is blocking a lot, but now he's on the attack. The horse is trying to run for his life so far. Ghost is activated, and Booty Banging Billy is not going to get the kill he needs, but does dissuade that dive. But it's not quite over yet as the Victor does go in. The Gravity Field does land. Blue Chocolate is taking aggro, slices, dices right out of there, and that'll be a kill from him.
Yeah, a little bit of a hard start to that dive. Overall, a huge net gold for them. Galio still holding this bottom side, so that's 4 platings and a kill for Ghost from Galio and 2 ultimates. So I'd make that trade time and time again. Pantheon doing his best to survive it, but without any rotation from his team, no teleport from the Azir. Senna ultimate missing, coming in a little bit late. It does pick up that kill, and 4 turret platings for this Renekton, who's already winning lane on his own prior to this game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the goal advantage right now cannot be understated right now. 4 blue chocolates for Renekton, not only being a kill up, but also having a nearly 20 CS lead, gives them almost
1,000
1k gold. Yeah, it almost gives them 1,000 gold difference as opposed to this Pantheon so far. And, I know Pantheon in that he needs to really kind of pop off and be able to get that early kills early on to make sure he succeeds. And so far, I think the Renekton's a great choice to kind of match that Scuffle. Although, wait, here we go. Enchanted Crystal Arrow finds its mark so far. The Senna goes down. He is stunned. He is done. The teleport is coming through. Gravity Field will be trapping Kopek so far as the bird goes down. Punchello, the other bird, is going to be running for your life so far, is chilling Smite. It's only a matter of time. They're trying to give it over, but instead the horse is going to take that, and that's going to be 2-0 for Arceus Hecarim.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. It's looking super free here as blue team just funnels into red team's playmaking here, one at a time. Enchanted Crystal Arrow just picking up the Senna right off the bat. Azir teleporting in late. Galio just goes back in. Victor lands an absolutely beautiful gravity field. 2-man stun on that one, and just so much AoE damage. Picking up that 3 kills, 2 of them going on Hecarim. He's getting pretty big right now. Almost 1,000. He's 900 gold ahead of Amumu right now. So Amumu's in a tough spot, even splitting his build for Grievous Wounds on Bramblevest.
Yeah, it looks like, you see, it's already necessary so far. I mean, as of Renekton is getting pretty dangerous. The Ouch Mouse is still in the Dragon Pit, but it resets. Unfortunately, to get it. Shuts down the opposite jungler so far. Is forced to smite for health, but in the end, Being Salty will be taking that kill for himself. Punchello will be getting that in the end. Booty Bang and Billy is joining the fight so far. Does get caught in the gravity field, but in the end, it's going to be a double kill for Punchello, and it's going to be a blue side dragon.
Yeah, that was quite the reverse sweep there. So what happened is they made this huge play top lane. Hecarim base, but not with enough gold to buy an important item for him. They then go bot. They pick up this triple kill. They pick up a turret plating mid, all the CS, and everybody's sitting in 1,000, 1,500 gold in their pockets. No flashes, no teleports, no heals, no ultimates, and they go for this Drake. Yeah, they had the control word on it. They denied the vision, but the Ouch Mouse still had his Curse of the Sad Mummy. He still had his ultimate. Hecarim didn't have Smite. It's just not really the right call to make when you're playing so strong at a safe team-oriented pace. Having a Hecarim with half HP and no Smite trying to basically solo this Drake.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I was just about to praise, Team Solo Q Academy for, the comp that they drafted and their ability to kind of adapt to some of these teleport situations with their AoE kind of disruptors. But it looks like Blue Chocolate's Renekton's going to be forced into a 1v3 so far. Is forced to flash out as he also pops the Dominus to make sure he tries to sustain. He's getting out pretty low, but in the end, Fiendfire is going to be taken out for himself. And Arceus, Hecarim's going to have to run for his life.
Yeah, it's really hard to get away from a Glacial Augmentation Senna if you have any other Chain CC to follow up. So Renekton burned the flash, but it was a little bit too late. He just got Chain CC'd out. No wards and pushed really far forward. It doesn't matter if you have a Gore Drinker. If you can't win the 1v3, there's no reason to be pushing forward like that.
Oh, yeah, Arceus is possibly looking for blood, maybe just trying to get him off the tower to take any more place. There is a TP coming up from, I believe it's Corzine, but the Ouch Mouse is there first, puts on the gravity field to try to dissuade anything, but it is going to be opposite trading tower plates from the sides of the map, but it looks like that top side is going to be looking a little busy as there's going to be 4 members from HyberNation crawling up there.
An aggressive play by both teams. No kills come out. A little bit surprising. Amumu does have ultimate. He does have flash. He's going to be able to apply the zoning potential here, but turret platings have fallen, so it's not the strongest play to make. Pantheon's doing quite a bit better of a job just because he's so hard to dive, but red team is still putting a lot of pressure on this turret.
Yeah, Team Solo Q Academy, pretty relentless, and I feel like they feel pretty safe about where they are right now. They have a good amount of vision in that river and dragon pit to make sure no one's going to disrupt them. I think that they know that the teleport from Booty Bang and Billy and Kopek is down. So now they shouldn't be expecting any visitors so far, and they're just kind of picking up that free gold and really adamant about getting that turret.
Yeah, Pantheon being in the bottom lane, doesn't matter if he has the ultimate. Nobody is off vision right now. We see the 4 top side. Azir doesn't have the teleport. It is free to just push in here. Pantheon also not going for the Gore Drinker. He's building a serrated Dirk, so he's going to be doing the old Eclipse Pantheon build, which is pretty rough. It gives him a little bit more damage, but the amount of survivability he gets from a Gore Drinker is so high. He's able to cast it while he is doing his shield slam. So he can be blocking all of your damage and heal half his HP up at the same time and turn a fight around really heavily. If he's trying to play more of an assassin play style, it is going to work, but putting him solo 1v2 against the Galio Ashe is just getting him zoned out of the CS.
Oh, wait, hold on. Flashbang that's charged into the ultimate, and the scoop. Shuffle Cars on second is running for his life. Some fancy footing right there as Kopek will slide the soldiers right in and will pick up that kill.
Yeah, that last soldier smacking him by just the tip of the spear,
But
but
wait,
it's not done
more.
yet.
There comes the Pony Express so far. The Outmouse running for his life as RCO's Hecarim is on the run. Does get chilling smited in the end, but who knows, that charge is going to be coming up pretty soon as the Outmouse is looking pretty faint. He goes to a gray screen so far. Tet is caught out, is forced to flash so far, but the rest of HyberNation is trying to chase the rest of Team Solo Q Academy. Ooh, that root does land. Only catches out the Hecarim. He says, goodbye, friend. Leave me. I'm done. Booty Bang Billy will be picking up that kill for himself.
Yeah, I think we see a better team comp from TSQ Academy, but the team play is so heavily in HyberNation's playstyle right now. They're just running this perfectly. Everywhere they go is with a purpose. Maybe it's not the greatest play, but they make it work every time they try, except for that one roam bottom side. They've just been playing so strong as a team. It's like trying to get through a rock to dive into them to make any kind of play against them, and everybody's always where they need to be on these rotations.
Yeah, no, I mean, and even kind of where they need to be and everything so far. You know, Team Solo Q Academy, I think, kind of struggling a little bit out of the gates to find the exact fights they need. But I think that this drag is exactly what they're trying to look for, and already kind of set up a good perimeter of vision so far. But I think it's imperative that they need to look strong in this team fight if they want to have any chance of kind of turning this game around in their favor. But as of right now, they did kind of concede off of that river bush. They do still have that ward in the dragon, so all is not totally lost, but you cannot forget about the Pantheon ultimate so far. He has finished his Eclipse, and he could be a dangerous threat to that backline of Team Solo Q Academy if the Outmouse doesn't find him first. He kind of gets caught out in the end, does get the Curse of Sad Mummy, but it's going to be bloodshed all over the place. Booty Bang Billy is desperately trying to get to that backside, but it's just too much, as that's going to be a double kill for Blue Jokody. Kopek's going to be trying to slide out of there, does surviving in the end, but that's going to be a one fight for Team Solo Q Academy.
3 for 1, picking up a kill on Tet as the support Galio is a win in my book, especially when it secures you that Drake. It's going to be Mountain Soul this game, so not the greatest, but not the worst when you're running Renekton, Hecarim, and Galio on a team comp, having these huge sustained fighting tanks, stacking their armor and magic resistance, giving them this big shield to help them engage on. And these team fights, while being less coordinated by TSQ Academy, the drafting phase is showing here. HyberNation going into these fights, getting this chain CC, getting these picks, but then they're not able to follow up with anything, and TSQ Academy just turns it around. Oh,
wait, hold on. Actually, there you go. There's that pick that you get from that Pantheon ultimate. Booty Bang Billy does grab a second kill for himself on the Victor, while Bean Salty does also fall. And I think that might have just been some disrespect from Team Solo Q Academy to stick around that long right after the drag. You know, I was just about to praise them for doing well in that dragon fight, because that's exactly what I was saying. You know, they need to do well in that fight, and I did exactly what they need to do.
Yeah, they're having a very hard time basing on gold. Their 2 throws this game have both been after a momentous play that swings the match in their favor, and then they're sitting on 1,500 gold, no summoner spells, no ultimates, and they're just pushing for an objective. If they bunker down and they wait for HyberNation to have to make a play, they're able to turn these fights around upside down on HyberNation, and they get ahead every time. If they keep playing that way, it should be an easy, slow crawl for them to getting the win, but if they keep going for aggressive plays, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, aggressive plays are kind of the name of the game so far, but not too much where you're overstepping and diving under towers and getting caught out when you don't need to be. So, yeah, I mean, as you were saying, I think really need to kind of take a closer look about, where those team fights are happening about and where are those chances to reset, so to make sure that you're not getting you're not totally throwing away that the lead you just secured from a past fight.
Yeah, it's such a ultimate-oriented team comp, too. You have Hecarim, you have Ashe, you have Galio. Victor's just damage. You know, there's no channels he can interrupt with his. Renekton needs his ult to fight. It just fills him with fury, gives him a bunch of health, a nice amount of damage. The size increases his attack range, his ability range. So those are all pretty important. But if you're going to try and fight without Hecarim having Onslaught of Shadows, Ashe having Enchanted Arrow, you're not going to win these.
Yeah, well, speaking of winning these, looks like the Ouchmouse might not be winning these. Ooh, a good flash follow to make sure he does not get caught out of the blast cone suffer. The Ouchmouse is forced to flash, is on the run so far, is able to ban his toss to another minion, but Blue Chocolatey isn't entirely ready. Asterio uses the Onslaught of Shadows to try and catch up, but in the end, they're not able to find the pick that they want.
Yeah, that Hecarim ultimate is so important. Like I was just saying, you can't risk this 110 second cooldown, but Victor's going to pick up his kill.
Yeah, Corazon will be getting that solo kill over Kopek so far. He gets the Chaos Storm and every single thing. That phase is really helping to run that bird down so far. And, I was just about to say, look at the vision so far and the Baron buff. That is all red for the TSQ Academy. They were hoping for a good pick on the Mumu, which would have given them a good opportunity to Baron. But right now, they're kind of scared so far as Tet goes down to 3 members of HyberNation right now, and maybe their advantage isn't as apparent as it was.
Yeah, their gold advantage is dwindling. Their team play is suffering. They need to wait for HyberNation to make a play and turn it. Their diving is not as coordinated. Their pick potential, their vision, they're lacking in all of the team-oriented macro decisions that's making HyberNation stay in this game. But team fighting, individual mechanics, knowing how to focus, knowing when to use their ultimates in these 5v5 key moments is when TSQ Academy shines their brightest. And if they're going to keep avoiding their strong suit and playing into HyberNation's hands, this is going to be really neck and neck.
Yeah, I mean, Oh, wait, hold on. He not ready just yet to kind of dissuade defining pick so far, though. Once again, might be stepping a little too far as he's forced to go on the retreat, though, far. The Ouchmouse does do the ultimate to try and slow down, but now he's on the run as Blue Chocolatey does TP in. All 5 members from TSQ are here trying to run him down. The Onslaught of Shadows stops him from any sort of escape so far, and that's Jungler down. If I was TSQ, that's a pretty solid Baron contest to possibly go and look for something. There is pings for that Mountain Drake so far, and maybe they're not going to go for it.
I would go for the Mountain Drake. You're down some of your key ultimate abilities here. You don't have a lot of vision advantage. There's one sweeper on the team. It's really risky. The Xayah, massive team fighting capabilities. She's very fed, and she's right there looking you in the face. It's too risky. It's a potential throw. Drake should be free if they start it quickly enough, but they're really lagging on starting this Drake up.
Right, slow to these objectives is kind of right now what's kind of killing TSQ right now, as what would have probably been a free Drake is now kind of getting a little dicey so far, as the blue team is kind of filing in right now. That luckily is going to be in favor of that. Enchanted Arrow is going to go wide. Blue Chocolatey is in the back line. Punchnile is trying to run for his life so far. Hecarim is going to grab that, going on a killing spree so far, and that's going to be 1 kill over to TSQ Academy.
Yeah, this is some very slow fighting from both teams with the style of draft that you're running. It's what you can expect. A little bit odd to see a Galio support go Locker of the Iron Aegis, I believe it's called. No, it's still Locker of the Iron Solari. And then not really using your heroic entrance. You're not using this huge AoE airborne reversal turn style ultimate on Galio. You're flashing in with the taunt. You have Renekton. You have Hecarim. You don't really need to play that role. It hasn't worked the last 3 times. It did work this time, but only because he has flash. I just want to make sure that these players don't let this go to their head and think, oh, it worked once, let's try it again. Because if Galio is going to try that again, now that HyberNation has their ultimates back, they have most of their summoners coming up in a minute or 2 around this next objective. It could be a very huge throw, and Baron is a very possible outcome from a losing fight for either of these teams.
Yeah, no, I mean, luckily they're trying the best we can envision so far, as HyberNation is not letting their grasp let go across this Baron so far, because I think the one weakness, especially as we get later in the game and as these Renekton and the Hecarim and the Galio gets tankier and tankier, their ability to face check just gets weaker and weaker, as especially with the Pantheon going the Eclipse, going the more assassin route. Amumu is your really only key player who can kind of face check, and so it makes it incredibly difficult for them to do that, but then that makes it easier for TSQ to hopefully set up some death pushes and kind of play around that vision to catch out those vulnerable members.
Yeah, a lot of weight's going to be on this Victor this game. We see plated steel cap boots with a Sunfire cape, with an oncoming Thornmail from Amumu. He's going to be trying to run into the enemy team, and this Victor might just melt through him like butter. If he doesn't start building some magic resistance and respecting him, he is 2, 3, and 7, but he's doing a lot of damage in these fights, and he is very key to their win condition. So having no magic resistance on anybody on their team, Victor's starting to scale. He's going to be finishing an item soon with the Seraph's Embrace coming up after his Lich Bane he's building into, and 30 minutes in, Victor could be one-shotting people on your team if you're not building magic resistance.
Yeah, and I mean, certainly they're aware of that, and even Ashe is able to really kind of go more of the Gale Force and the Ruon's route, not having to worry too much about it, just because of that insane magic damage that you can get from Corazon second. And so, when they kind of comes to all in all, if you're able to melt through the only tank that HyberNation has, well, then you're kind of golden. Although what's not golden is HyberNation having priority on this Drake, and a possible contest from both sides. There's going to be bloody battle right here so far. Blue Chocolatey and Tet is going to be in the bottom line. They're actually taking off the Baron so far as Blue Chocolatey goes on a killing spree. Enemy jungler is dead. Streamo Wall does kick out 3 members, but that's not enough. That's going to be a triple kill for Corazon in a second. There's an AP damage you're talking about, and it's going to be a clean ace for TSQ Academy.
Yeah, both teams playing for the objectives. TSQ Academy plays it smart. They have a 3-1-1 split. 3 people watching the Baron. Ashe running down mid lane, still having that arrow if she's late to the fight. And Victor pushing in bottom side. They picked up a turret. Almost a second, this bottom lane mid tier 2 turret is hanging on by an absolute thread as Victor teleported in from the side to secure that Baron fight. But we don't have the team fight potential on HyberNation if they're getting shredded out by the Baron and Amumu's not casting ultimate. No ultimate from Amumu. No Curse of the Sad Mummy hitting anybody in that fight. So what's your follow-up? What is your team fight potential? You're getting chunked out by Baron. You're using all your abilities on it. It's reducing your armor and magic resistance. And then you just get collapsed on from a side flank from everybody on TSQ Academy's team. What are you supposed to do?
Not much to do so far, especially once again you kind of just saw the insane magic damage coming from Corazon 3 Corazon 2 after he picked up that triple kill so far. Luckily, the Ouch Mouse is adapting so far. It does get that Spectre's Cowl so far to start building towards some MR. Ow, Cope actually taking a lot of hurt from that poke so far.
A lot of damage
in the volley. But I think that TSQ Academy is starting to realize and kind of do what they do best with their comp is with that coordinated team fight, working together and making sure that they can kind of punish these more vulnerable members and not give them any chance to try to contest as they're looking for Mountain Soul right now.
Yeah, this should be pretty free. Amumu's trying to contest, but they have a lot of CC in case he goes for it. They will have to hand it over, and that is going to be Soul point for TSQ Academy. Baron on their team. They have the Mountain Soul. 4 minutes on Baron respawn, 6 on Elder, and they've got all the objectives this game. I can see if this match isn't over in 6 minutes, one of these 2 objectives is going to be taken, and it will be. It could be HyberNation that gets the steal, turns the match around. But I think at this rate, with how TSQ has decided to adapt into these team fights, they're playing this very, very solidly, concreting their team comp, their play style, picking these fights strategically now, and playing the slow crawl that we want to see that's going to guarantee them this win.
Yeah, and a win that they are trying to do so far. You did see assist pings in that mid lane. They're really trying to use the most they can with this Baron buff. They want to at least get an inhibitor here as they're kind of going through. But, I guess that is kind of the bright side of of blue team's comp so far is they have a good amount of damage and wave clear that makes it actually a little bit difficult for a prolonged siege from TSQ so far. So right now, they're kind of sieging it up right now, but so far, blue team's holding on strong.
Yeah, it's very hard to punch through this mid lane. You have a Mumu who, if he can engage on you, you're going to instantly die as an Ashe. You have Gale Force, you have Flash, but Chain CC is still Chain CC. Zaya's very high burst. She has the Gale Force. She just Gale Forces in, gets the 3 feathers. Blade collars it in for the snare. 1, 2, 3, you're dead. She just keeps running through your team. If they're able to pick this fight correctly, but with the Baron buff, the 1-3-1 split, they're just going to pick up these side turrets and get themselves a pretty solid gold advantage as they reset. Victor deciding to ignore the Seraph's Embrace, building a double needlessly large rod for a Rabadon's, ignoring that item spike, which he did have enough gold to finish. So a very powerful play, maybe saying, let's just wait the 2.5 minutes, get another Baron, go for inhib, use that pressure to open up for an Elder Drake, and just close the game out then and there at 35, 36 minutes.
Yeah, no, I mean, this may be kind of looking for a more in the long run, just because, I mean, as we saw with that attempted siege from TSQ, I think they're going to need a significant team fight victory if they're going to get any progress when it comes to structure so far, as just Kopex, Azir, the Xayah, and just everything in between is really able to kind of clear even the Baron minion so far. So they're right now doing the right thing, kind of setting up base, slaughtering the jungle from the side of HyberNation, setting up camp vision, and not letting them go anywhere near outside of their base.
You can definitely feel the pressure that TSQ Academy is putting on them. They are standing in their faces, taking their turrets, and they can't do anything. Amumu does find a bandage toss.
Bandage toss does connect, but unfortunately, and actually I'm not sure if that ultimate from Beam Bang and Billy was intentionally beat there, but Kopex now in the middle of it as he does shuffle something out, but not exactly sure what they wanted so far. Blue Chocolate goes on a rampage as he takes down the Pantheon and then the Amumu for a double kill so far, and this may be that major team fight victory that they do need. They don't have Baron buff anymore, but they do still have Mountain Soul and a decent wave coming up with them so far as they're looking to end this game.
Hecarim just running him down. He's not done yet. His bloodthirst cannot be quenched.
Yeah, bloodthirst.
This is looking pretty grim.
Yeah, I mean, looking pretty good right now. All 5 members are going in. There's a double taunt so far, and there goes the rest of blue team so far as TSQ Academy will be taking game 1 of Affliction Esports week 2.
Very well deserved. They played the slow pace right to their strengths. 1-3-1 split with Victor having teleport bot, Renekton having teleport top. There's nothing you can do about this. They tried to collapse. We saw the Amumu land a bandage toss, a beautiful flash out of the Curse of the Sad Mummy by Bean Salty's Ashe, and the fight was over then and there, but Azir decides to stream a shuffle into the fight, getting himself caught out. Once he falls, the rest fall like dominoes, and TSQ Academy easily picks up that win.
Yeah, an easy win indeed, but not without its stumbles quite so far. I know that we kind of talked about some earlier mishaps that kind of happened with the early game team fighting. Luckily for their end, it did end up in the win so far, and you even kind of look at the damage graph so far, and that's going to be from the side of TSQ Academy, a pretty well shared damage, but definitely big players, as you expect, the Victor and the Ashe pumping out a lot of that damage and to make sure they can punch through, especially Victor topping that damage chart for the side of TSQ, really putting the magic damage and kind of attacking that vulnerability that they saw with that magic resistless Mumu.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to the Xayah for this one. If you look at that damage chart,
yeah,
Punchnello really put some work into this game. 19k damage playing from so far behind. 12 kills to 22. A 13k gold lead in TSQ's favor. It's crazy that Azaya would have the peak damage when she has almost no poke. She can throw her Q out, pull some feathers back with Blade Collar, but that damage is from team fighting. So Ashe played well, but I got to give it to Xayah on that one. She played so strongly for how far behind her team comp was, but your support Senna's at 12k damage, your mid lane Azir is 6k, and your top lane Pantheon, who didn't even go Gore Drinker. He ended up going into the Eclipse, is at 5K tied with Amumu. You don't really have a comeback potential when your damage graphs are looking like that.
Yeah, and this is why I'm hoping to see some adaptation from Game 2 for HyberNation, because I think we have see a pretty strong AD carry from HyberNation, Punchnella putting in a lot of work, and hopefully saying they can adapt their draft to see where they can kind of capitalize around Punchnella's strength and maybe draft a better comp, more suited to team fighting, and being able to kind of patch up some of those sores that they had. Just because we even see, because they had 4 squishies, Team Solo Q Academy was just able to literally run into them and not really have much repercussions because of it.
Yeah, draft definitely went into TSQ's favor. The Hecarim pick was just beautiful, comboed with the Galio. We never really saw the hero's entrance from Galio getting these big 3-4 people airbornes into AoE taunts, into another Justice Crash from Galio's E. This massive chain CC that you pick the Galio for, but he still got where he needed to be. He still got the CC he needed to get off, and it worked very well for him. I think he could have played it quite a bit better, but at the end of the day, the fight still went pretty much perfectly in their favor. After 5-10 minutes into that game, they've really turned it around. A little bit worse coordination across the map for the first half, losing in macro, but once they started doing their 1-3-1 split, it started going flawlessly for them. They didn't make a single mistake for the last 10 minutes of that game.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to see if those mistakes, if that is ever going to come. We'll catch you back after this break for Game 2 between HyberNation and Team Solo Q Academy. Welcome back to Affliction Esports Week 2 between HyberNation and TSQ Academy. TSQ Academy taking a pretty convincing Game 1 so far versus HyberNation, and we're looking to see if HyberNation can tie the series up and make it to Game 2.
Yeah, we love to see that comeback. I'd really like to see them use that early game coordination that they had for the first 5-10 minutes. It was definitely very impressive the way that they were able to rotate around the map so strongly, be everywhere they needed to. Azir knew when he needed to teleport, when he needed to roam. They had one bad play, but they brought it back around. The draft just fell really short. They didn't really have anything that they could do with the Pantheon. Azir had some good engages, but without really any kind of follow-up, it just flopped every time. I think if they can draft better this game and play just as good as they did last time, it's definitely going to be a lot more winnable. If not swing in their favor, there's the momentum value that TSQ Academy, after closing the game out so strong, playing so well, drafting so good, might just power through for the 2-0. Easy win.
Yeah, but it looks like they're already going to be stealing the Galio away. HyberNation, they're not going to be quite making the same mistakes once again, but they do trade out the Hecarim ban for the Jhin, and that might just be Bean Salty's Jhin locked in. Yes, it is. I'm going to have to see how good of a comfort pick it is for him.
Yeah, pretty much the same banning phases. These players just do not want these champions picked. They cannot let them through. I'm not sure if these are one-trick players or have just shown before that they are phenomenal. But getting Jhin and still banning the Kai'Sa out is a little bit odd, because Jhin usually can dominate Kai'Sa pretty easily with a good support in the laning phase and just get a lead that she's not able to deal with. So a little bit of a mistake by HyberNation to let them ban it out and then pick the Jhin, because unless they go for the Samira pick, which Jhin is good into, maybe misfortune. But if they don't pick 80, okay, they're going to go for the Ashe. That's looks like they're kind of just trying to take TSQ Academy's team comp and run it against them this time.
Yeah, it may just be that case. HyberNation already having a pretty solid front line with the Maokai and the Galio. Of course, the Galio stealing away from TSQ from last game. But already I'm seeing a much more formidable kind of team fight comp from HyberNation as opposed to what they had last game. And TSQ Academy drafting some early high damage picks and grabbing that Jin priority pick for being salty. And they're also going to be getting Blue Chocolate's Renekton once again, which I think he had a great performance in, just being an absolute monster in that last game.
Most definitely. The Pantheon reverse steal too, so both teams are stealing from each other's draft last game. Not sure exactly what they're going to go for this time, but I really want to see HyberNation run multiple catch. We already have Maokai with Galio, with Ashe. Finish the team comp out strong, win the draft this game, win the laning phase, and they can turn this around. TSQ Academy does have a volatile team that could be Pantheon jungle, Pantheon mid, Pantheon support. Heck, it could even be a Pantheon top with a Renekton mid running that lethality press the attack build. That's been pretty popular too. So it's really hard to draft against them. They need to draft for themselves. What's going to complement Galio, Maokai, and Ashe? Finish the draft out strong.
Yeah, I think definitely the missing aspects of that draft, I think they're definitely going to need some source of AP damage just to make sure that, Renekton and whatever it tanks if TSQ does decide to draft, that they can't be running away with armor stacking or anything like that. And then possibly some other utility-based to complement this already kind of tanky engage from HyberNation. But as you said, TSQ making it a really difficult kind of draft phase for them, as that Pantheon Renekton can just go so many places. It's really hard to kind of exactly know where you want to go.
Yeah, I imagine with how Maokai is being played right now, that should be the Maokai support. Ashe AD carry, maybe top lane. I'm going to say I heavily doubt jungle and mid. Still very flexible. Nautilus gets shown, so when you see bottom side, they can now decide what they want to do with this Galio and Maokai. Finish off this draft strong.
There's that Malphite you talked about.
Malphite gets picked. This is the draft. It should have been a Misfortune 80 carry if they're going to draft this way, but Fiddlesticks closes this draft out perfectly. This is going to be difficult to get through. You're going to have to get through Malphite. You're going to have to get through Maokai. You're going to have to get through Galio. You're going to show up, and Ashe and Fiddlesticks can peel for themselves. So even with this dive, it might not work if they don't have the gold lead. HyberNation really outdrafting themselves this game.
Yeah, although I really like the Sylas pick coming out from TSQ Academy. Not only does it complement your damage profile, giving it that needed AP, but in addition, it gives you the ability to take some of these strong ultimates that you find from HyberNation and turn it on its head. So not only do you have some pretty strong ultimates yourself with the Curtain Call, Pantheon Ultimate, Dominus, etc., but then you also can able to steal some of the valuable ultimates that you see in HyberNation and kind of do that and be a little more versatile with your engage, with your safety, with the defense. So once again, I'm expecting a pretty bloody game, but I am really excited to see if HyberNation kind of takes their strong sense of maneuvering on team fights, but with a better comp and with a comp that is more suited towards the intended purpose. So we're going to have to see how it really plays out as we kind of lock in the standard picks from the draft pool.
Yeah, I think Sylas is probably the best pick they could have grabbed to reverse this style of fighting. If he can grab the Malphite, he can grab the Fiddlesticks, even Maokai, he can turn these team fights around. If he picks up Ashe or Galio, he has super strong roam potential. If this is going to be the Galio mid lane, Sylas just grabs his ult and goes, I'll just match you, but I'm doing a lot more damage than you this time. So good luck with that. And if Sylas gets fed, it's going to be real hard. It's going to be really hard for HyberNation to turn this match around. So they need to make sure they do not give gold to this Sylas.
Yeah, and I mean, I really like Arceo switching to the Pantheon and jungle just because it makes ganking so much easier with that point and click shield stun and everything. Makes it for an easy follow up with the Silas chains. Obviously, Renekton already has his own kind of built-in point and click stun, but even for your bot lane as well with the Jhin to be an easily follow up Deadly Flourish, Curtain Call, and anything else you want to layer over it. But this isn't to say that HyberNation doesn't have a weak comp at all. I'm already seeing just the wombo combo between the Fiddlesticks ultimate and the Galio on top of it, the Malphite right over there. So I'm definitely going to be seeing a lot of explosiveness from HyberNation's comp, but it's just a matter of can they kind of repeat that coordination that you saw in game one?
Yeah, it's going to be a very different style of team fighting for them to go into. If they let HyberNation finish the collapse, it's going to be layered on layer of CC. Malphite goes in, Fiddlesticks follows up, Galio follows up, Ashe ults, Maokai ults. You know, it's not going to be, oh no, Amumu got a 5-person stun and then the CC's done. It's our turn to shine now. So if they get collapsed on, they're going to get collapsed on hard. I think Pantheon needs to go Gore Drinker this game. He needs to be tanky. He needs to be able to soak this Maokai ultimate while he's doing his shield slam, while he's doing his Aegis. Just tank the damage for the team. Maybe even die just to get his team into the position they need to be in, because if they let this Maokai ult go through, this Malphite ult go through and layer this, they don't have a turn opportunity. Nautilus with his dredge line can kind of turn the fight around, start the ult, get chain CC'd. It's going to knock everybody airborne, get through to the Ashe, maybe the Fiddlesticks, CC them for a second. But I think the weight of this match is going to be on Pantheon and Silas for how they dictate the flow of this game. Whereas HyberNation, really anybody can lead the charge here. Ashe can start her ult, Maokai can start the ult, Galio can follow up on anybody else or engage himself, Fiddlesticks ult, and Malphite ult. So as long as you have your ults up on your team, anything's possible. You can't say, oh, it's only 4 champions, let's pick this 5v4, because before you know it, Unstoppable Force, Crow's Storm, Hero's Entrance, boom, you're dead, and now the enemy team gets a Baron after you were the one who got the pick.
Decisivity is going to be the name of the game, but we'll see what that game is going to look like. You'll hear right back from us in Game 2 in Affliction Esports Week 2. HyberNation versus TSQ Academy will be in game after this break. Welcome back. Affliction Esports Week 2, Game 2 between HyberNation and Team Solo Q Academy. Team Solo Q Academy leads the series 1-0 with a convincing game they had just that other time. But now we're back. Gonna see if HyberNation can tie it up, bring us to a Game 3.
Yeah, very interesting. They decided to go, I'm not sure if that's in the rulings, but they decided to go same sides, so no flip. That allowed the Jhin to get first pick, which really kind of stuck a thorn. They really wanted that Jhin. They left it open that way, and they banned out the Hecarim instead. So Being Salty is going to get the Jhin this game. It's going to be very powerful. They say, we'll take the Ashe, we'll take the Galio and run it against you. And they said, all right, we already have Jhin. We'll just run Nautilus instead, dominate this bottom lane. HyberNation runs all ultimate center champions, and then they pick Sylas with Hijack and goes, well, we'll just run that against you too. So HyberNation tried to swipe the drafting out from TSQ Academy's feet and ended up kind of just backfiring with the Sylas pick not being banned, but still a very coin flip. I like the draft on both sides, so we'll just have to see how it goes. I'd like to see HyberNation pull through this game and have a lot better team fights in the late game and really show what they're made of.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm really kind of interested to see where, or kind of how their draft adaptation for Team Solo Q Academy kind of works out. Because, I mean, as you were saying, it seems like that they had a lot of good responses draft-wise to the picks that HyberNation was able to pick up. And let's see kind of on an individual live and even on a team-based kind of side, how that kind of adapts and see how they're going to be able to pull that out.
Yeah, Corrupting Potion start on Sylas with the Fleet Footwork gives him a lot of room to be aggressive, but he's losing these trades pretty heavily. Nautilus and Jhin should have a very high priority in this bottom lane, so if they are able to rush out level 2 first, we might see either a first blood with that Ignite difference in Nautilus's favor, or maybe a gank into this mid lane, but...
Oh, Corazon 2 actually getting really aggressive with those trades. In the end, does get a lot of health back from not only Fleet, but then also the Kingslayer as well. Wants to keep Kopek in this mid lane so far, as Arceo's Pantheon is hovering around. Wants to make him look like pretty juicy. He's on the chicken so far, only level 2. Hopefully trying to stay alive hopefully until the Pantheon comes around.
If Galio is able to keep chipping him away, I think there's a pretty high chance of him getting a kill, but the Nautilus hook is going to land.
Yeah, actually, they're trying their best so far. There is a hook on the Fiendfire. That's first blood to Being Salty. Punchnello is trying to pick up that counter kill, but isn't able to quite catch it where it is. The hook is right back. There it is. Deadly Flourish follow up. Actually, I don't think it hit. Punchnello is running for his life, is able to get out, and that's a positive trade for Team Solo Q Academy.
Yeah, the dredge line from Nautilus kind of boops you around. He has his way with you for a quick second, so it's really hard to know how to predict that with a skill shot as thin as Jin's Deadly Flourish. Still very solid first blood into the Maokai, bottom lane priority. Like I was saying, you're gonna pick the Galio you're gonna pick the Galio, you're gonna pick the Ashe. You don't even run them together in the bottom lane. You just run a Maokai. You take Exhaust. You've given up all your pressure.
Yeah,
in this bottom side again.
Maybe trying to actually grab Kopek as he tries to back, but the taunt just kind of gives him too much resistance so far as able to walk out.
Yeah, he's got teleport, no ignite, so against somebody as tanky as Galio, that's pretty hard. This is a risky base. He's not going to scout him out, but he was playing with life and death there.
Oh wait, Fiendfire at level 2 actually goes with the Ouch Mouse to try and get Retribution kill for Being Salty so far. An additional TP from, I believe it's Booty Bang and Billy, is going to be coming down as well. That's going to be 2 kills down in the bot lane, 1 for Punchnello and 1 for the Ouch Mouse. Yeah,
Kopek shows up as a courtesy call saying, hey guys, I'm here, I exist, don't forget about me, you know. I'm not the chick in this game, but I'm still in the team. I'm the stone man, you know. I'm here, really not needed, but as a courtesy call, we like to see the teleports coming in bottom side. But a 2-0 play, Fiddlesticks not able to get the Drake because it hasn't spawned yet, but that's pretty huge, especially one of those kills going on Fiddlesticks. I'm just curious why Jhin didn't...
Hold on. Well, speaking of picks so far, actually, double taunt will actually might be disengaged so far, unless Arceus Pantheon does have the stun left up. He's trying to get into range. I don't think there's going to be any follow-up right there. Does have the red buff, but not enough.
Yeah, just above the execute range because of that Corrupting Potion. Pantheon's not able to get too much. Doesn't even burn the flash, so Corrupting Potion, Galio's just going to heal back up. it's not really that good of a win for you, especially playing something like Pantheon with the red buff early game. Getting no successful ganks is very rough for you. You want to get your lead early on and transition into a bruiser / peel oriented champion, maybe like a flash engage late game. And if you're not getting your gold, you're not getting your items, you're going to get outscaled by his Fiddlesticks very heavily.
Yeah, and even speaking of getting outscaled so far, Corazon knows right now is forced to TP back to make sure he catches that wave. Already down about 10 CS in that mid side so far. Those early engages isn't. Oh my god, that Nautilus hook hitting Punch Cello so far, followed by the Deadly Flourish. Tet will grab that kill via the Ignite. Fiendfire tries to go in to try and do something, but in the end gets caught out while warding, and in the end, Punch Cello gets taken down.
Yeah, I want to take it back about 2 minutes. Bean Salty didn't use his cleanse when he was getting ganked. I'm not exactly sure if he thought there was going to be a better moment to use it, or maybe it wouldn't have saved his life. He's not running Nimbus Cloak, so it wouldn't have given him the movement speed, but I think he would have been able to live if he did. Not a big deal, but definitely a little bit of a mistake. That Ashe definitely getting that one kill.
Oh wait, Blue Chocolatey, he knows he has a level 6 advantage, is able to get the solo kill on Booty Bing and Billy, second Dominus.
Wow, I did not see that one coming at all. He knows exactly what he's doing on this crocodile, I should say. I always call him an alligator.
Yeah, I mean, trades are coming back and forth in this mid and top so far. As Asiriel kind of joins the fight, still level 4 so far. Kopek is just absorbing so much pressure from this Pantheon, and they're not able to find the results they need.
Yeah, if Silas is going to sit on this hero's entrance from Galio, he's not going to be able to make any kind of plays on his own mid lane. He's going to need to look top, and he doesn't even need to.
Non-stop hooks from Tet Nautilus so far. As Punch Nautilus is trying to get the Rangers focused to try to take down Bean Salty and might take him down in the end, but now we're going to a mid-fight so far as Corazon the second is trying to get there. Fiendfire does get hooked once again into Deadly Force, tries to flash, I believe, for the root, but in the end, there's going to be another fight there. The Stolen Heroes entrance does grant Corazon second entrance right in there so far, and it's going to be now the junglers 1v1ing so far as the mid laners do fall. Ends up doesn't getting this, the shield right in time, but not enough as he gets swiped over, and the Outshmas cuts him a double kill.
Oh my god, what a frenzy of fighting left and right. We're looking bottom lane, we're looking mid, we're looking back bottom lane, we're looking top, we're looking mid, we're looking bot. Very fast paced compared to last game, and a lot of confidence from TSQ Academy in these aggressive plays left and right. They just want to close this one out and guarantee that 2-0 quick win. HyberNation on this Fiddlesticks is just grounding his team, being the rock that they need. Malphite's soon to follow up now that he's 6, but Fiddlesticks is their lifeline, and he's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, he's got 7 stacks on that Dark Seal so far, and I am just seeing Ouchmouse being a menace later in this game so far. And, while they did lose an early Drake, with all the level 6s so far coming in, I'm not expecting TSQ to be able to take any more objectives that easily unless they get a clean ace or something.
Yeah, I want to take a moment to point out the objective vision control that HyberNation has in their draft. We have the Hawkshot from Ashe, we have the Saplings from Maokai, and we have the Fiddlesticks Lantern for his passive. There's so much vision and map control on their team. If they get into an objective early, they deny vision. How are you supposed to get into their team comp with the front line like they have, with the vision like they have? It's going to be impossible.
Oh, wait, a flash coming on from Pacello to try and avoid that case, but in the end, Arceo is going to be ulting in along with the curtain call. Bean Salty will be taking that down. The Outshmas is responding on the top side of the map. Dominus is popped by Blue Chocolate. As Reptile kind of maybe will join the fight. Blue Chocolate is trying his best as he's coming down. The HP bar is just dwindling so far as Kopek will take that Justice Punch in and grab that kill for himself.
Yeah, a nice pickup for him. Gotta love having some gold on Galio. I know you're a tank, but even just with Merc Treads, he's doing a lot of damage, so he's very key in these games. Fiddlesticks already has 3 kills. A nice little gold share there. Maokai is having a little bit of a harder time fitting into this game.
Wait, looks like another catch out right in this jungle so far. That's so much healing from the Ouch Mouse so far, but may not be enough as he's being ran down. That's going to be a shutdown going over to RCO's Pantheon right now, and that's actually going to be a double kill over to him as he takes down the outposing jungler, or sorry, mid laner.
They've really been reversing playstyles this game because Fiddlesticks was in the bush looking for a play without Crowstorm sitting on 1,600 gold. He was waiting on his Zonias. There wasn't any reason to fight there.
Yeah, possibly even more fighting so far as Booty Bang and Billy does catch out RCO in the bot lane, is forced to smite for health, but the Malphite gets the shutdown himself as he catches RCO sticking around a little too long.
Yeah, the Rock is exactly that. Trying to punch him to death is not going to work out for you in a 1v1 as a Pantheon, especially having that Eclipse. It's some good damage, but if you're not having any kind of sustain against Malphite, you're just attacking yourself to death when you hit him with that Thornmail. He's so tanky, he slows your attack speed, low cooldowns. He didn't even need to ult for that kill. He had ult that whole time. That's how confident he was. He was going to win that fight, and Pantheon's counter jungle was a little bit aggressive, giving up shutdown gold for that play.
Yeah, I mean, a little unfortunate on that side so far. And even when it comes to the kind of aggressiveness from HyberNation so far, I know you're talking about how, Bean Salty's Jhin and the Nautilus having that priority in that bot lane, but Punchnello, like last game, is really having that killer instinct and playing this lane very well and not letting the innate kind of lane difference kind of put them behind and still posturing aggressively towards this Jhin and this Nautilus. That way, he's saying, "No, I'm not going to be taking advantage of just this EV."
Yeah, flashing that Nautilus hook, it's so thick, it's impossible to sidestep when you don't have boots. Was the smart call. Playing safe now, and just going for objectives and staying out of lane to prevent another death. Now that I believe it's called Skyfall or Grand Starfall. From Pantheon is back up. Jhin using that curtain call to lock that down. Nautilus is going to have the depth charge. If you step up at all, you're just going to get chain CC down and die. So they really have to play smart, but Fiddlesticks is going to look for a possible dive with this Crowstorm. Yeah,
unfortunately, I believe they were sitting on a ward from Team Solo Q Academy. So just a bit of an awkward situation as they were seeing it there. Kopek and Corazon the second having a little fun back and forth trade, but the Ouch Mouse comes over to make it a 2v1, and there's even more action happening in the bot lane so far as Being Salty will be taking down Punchnello, but the kill will actually be going over to Tet. And in that 2v2, you're going to see that the immense strength from the Jhin and the Nautilus so far, as Being Salty will be taking that kill on Fiend5.
Yeah, really pinched into a position where he had nothing left to do on Fiendfire. Maokai just kind of had to accept. He was planted like Trian to accept death, but Crowstorm comes out.
Late Crowstorm, though, may not be able to get it, but the chant, oh my god, the healing is insane. That's a double kill for the Ouch Mouse as they're able to turn that around and grab 2 kills from their own.
Yeah, Galio teleported into that fight. I don't think he was in range to use his ultimate, so he wasn't able to get that shield, making it look a lot closer than it was. But that dive was not really dive because they had the Rift Herald, but still kind of a dive, pushing so far forward without any vision, starting that just as the turret falls, not knowing where the double teleport, Hero's entrance still available. Galio, Malphite are. I don't think that was the play. Fiddlesticks has this Zonias. He's super tanky. If they keep picking these kind of bad fights, they keep putting this gold onto this extremely important Fiddlesticks. 5-1 now, building towards a Magi's. They could be signing their own death sentence.
Yeah, and this is where you're kind of seeing Team Solo Q Academy's mistakes from last game creeping up a little bit in the game 2 so far. The big things that they kind of stumbled on in game 1 was kind of overextending and taking a little over aggressive trades and not backing when they should. And you can kind of see it's bleeding into some of these mistakes that they're having in game 2. Just not respecting those sort of cooldowns and the map control that they don't quite have yet, and in the end they get punished for it. But Booty Bang and Billy might just be punished himself for overextending a little bit, but he is a rock, and he is taking so much damage. The Ouch Mouse is there just in time for the counter gank, goes on a killing spree, and that is yet another kill, and fulfills that full Dark Seal.
Yeah, I gotta say, the Ouch Mouse has turned this around. Oh man, he turned that frown upside down. Last game was so rough for him, and this game's just looking so damn easy for him. Everywhere he needs to be, every time he needs to be there. Perfect Crow Storms, beautiful Zonias. His Predators are coming in clutch, and yeah, the bottom lane's suffering, but with how fed he is, Ashe and Maokai are both going to end up just playing a support playstyle here.
Oh, wait, hold on. There he is again. The Ouch Mouse there once again to save Booty Bang and Billy's life right now. Blue Chocolatey is low. The Ouch Mouse is stuck in maybe a precarious situation so far. Isn't able to get the damage off. Is kind of caught in between a weird situation and ultimately got shut down by the Pantheon.
Yeah, he's stuck between a rock and a croc, and there's neither of them are looking too good for him. So he's really not enjoying that shutdown, losing those stacks of his Dark Seal. A nice ultimate by Silas, slightly late, but again, courtesy call like we saw from the Gallia earlier this game, just saying, hey, I'm a little bit late, but I'm still here. Don't count me out. If it had turned, I would have been ready. And that shutdown is going to go a long ways over to TSQ Academy.
Yeah, no, TSQ, you know, as I was saying, kind of seeing some of these mistakes coming through, but you're still seeing the same bloodthirsty energy that they had in game one as well. So, you know, they're not going to be kind of dissuaded by a few mistakes in a couple of fights, and they're making it known that they're not ready to give up. And you can see if it was a bloody game with 21 kills in 16 minutes, that this is going to be a kind of thrilling game as the next Drake is about to spawn.
Yeah, there's a finished Kraken Slayer finally on this Ashe. She's been struggling a little bit behind in Gen by about 1,500 gold. Not too much, but not what you really want. Such a strong front line. She's not going to land the Enchanted Arrow on this Gen anytime soon, but Nautilus is actually not going to body block it.
Maybe actually, yeah, body blocked by the Nautilus so far. Taking a lot of damage as he does get shut down by Punchinello, but Blue Chocolatey's Croc is in the midst of things, but the hero's entrance comes through Kopech so far, but now he's trying to get, wait, 3-person knockup, 3-person silence, oh my god, that's gonna be a double, no, a triple kill for the Ouch Mouse, and that is a free Ocean Drake for the side of HyberNation.
Chat, spam this mouse to power the Ouch, oh my goodness. It is working indeed. This Fiddlesticks is just unstoppable. Whatever they decided while they were planning this draft out did absolutely work for them. They are coming in so clean, so strong. They're 3 kills ahead. They're a Drake up. They are 2,500 gold down due to turret platings and turret difference, but that very quickly can turn around. And with this Fiddlesticks back up to 10 stacks on Dark Seal, probably going to base him by a Magi at this point. Playing as well as he is, I know I would. Picking up this bottom lane turret and just playing so damn strong right now. It's going to be very hard for TSQ Academy to pick these fights because that looks so promising with the double teleport coming in. And it just turned upside down so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that team fight was just so great on them, seeing so many of the layers that we talked about coming through in Champ Select and everything that we talked about. All of it kind of pieced together insanely well. And even when it comes to trying to mitigate this Fiddlesticks right now, you know, there's only one source of Grievous Wound so far for Team Solo Q Academy, and that's going to be an Executioner's Calling on the Pantheon. And so, you know, when it comes to trying to stifle some of that healing that you're going to get from the Drain, it's going to be insanely difficult unless you're able to get RCO right in there.
Yeah, having that Zonius this early on, it almost doesn't matter.
Yeah, but actually right now, that can be another pick from HyberNation so far as they catch out Tet, warding the Baron Pit, or I guess Rift Hail Pit so far. That looks like it's going to be a free Rift Hail for them as it's approaching the 19-minute mark. I believe they do have 45 seconds to take it down, but that shouldn't be any problem for the 4 members of HyberNation.
Yeah, I have no doubt this Rift Herald's going to fall here. It should take about 50 seconds. But Galio flashes forward.
Flash into Bean Salty as he has to run for his life. The Jin is trying to blast him. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's out of there. But unfortunately, that's going to be his flash in return.
Yeah, a very aggressive play. It does zone them out. A nice split push by Corazon. Kind of putting some pressure on them here in the bottom lane, saying, well, you want to take Rift, burn some flashes, try and catch us out. I'll just match, get a CS advantage, 140 to 111 in this mid lane. Kopech is hurting a little bit in gold right now. He's pretty low. Same with the Malphite. They're not that important with how good Ashe and Fiddlesticks is doing. Maokai, Galio, and Malphite are just CC for the team, but we like to see them get a little bit more gold so they can match the oncoming Sylas and Renekton split pushing. They did it last game. They did it very well. They're going to do it again this game. And this is where HyberNation is going to start to be tested a little bit when they have to contest these 1-3-1 splits, you know, and trying to figure out how they're going to properly rotate with such a heavy team fighting comp. If they rotate poorly, their comp's not there together to activate. They might end up throwing this late game. So I'm really interested to see how TSQ is going to choose to play this split power that they have to try and put HyberNation in a pinch.
Yeah, and I think you can see TSQ already prepping for that inevitable, getting some upfront vision in the side of HyberNation's jungle to really prep that to make sure that they're able to catch anyone out of rotation if that is the case so far. HyberNation trying to do their best to reclaim some of it, but you can kind of see the little trail of wards coming in from the blue buff of HyberNation. But as Baron's up, next drag probably is enough for another about minute and a half or so. So all things should be relatively chill, but these all-important ultimates from each and every single member on the map is ready, so I'm expecting another fight within the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's going to really come down to if Sylas is going to start grabbing these Fiddlesticks or Malphite ultimates and using them correctly. So far, he's been very happy just hijacking Galio's ultimate, and it's being used pretty well. I can't blame him for it, but it's a 70% AP ratio. Fiddlesticks is a 225% AP ratio with about 3 times more base damage. So if you're looking for damage, Galio is not the way to do it. If you're trying to turn, I still don't think Galio is the way to do it. I think Malphite's the way to do it. So he's grabbing the wrong ultimates.
Yeah, and actually, this might actually be the beginning of the ultimate. Ooh, Flash Dredge Line does not go. Fiendfire's ultimate actually does so much as disengage, as, you know, Team Solo Q Academy is actually able to stick around because nothing really happened because of it. But, oh, what a great ultimate from Fiendfire.
Yeah, so Sylas made a good decision here. He picks up the Enchanted Crystal Arrow away from the Ashe. Fiddlesticks doesn't have a Banshees, so if he tries to start his ultimate here, he's not on a ward, but if he does get scouted out or predicted and he gets hit by that Ashe arrow, this could look grim for them. They're still at 1,500 gold value. So in terms of items right now, realistically, TSQ's in a better position. Complete respect for Fiddlesticks. Says, we'll just go for the split. The 1-3-1 we like to see. Renekton in the top, Sylas in the bottom. Forces that teleport out of Malphite, and he's not going to have that for 5 minutes now. Yeah,
no, I mean, especially for 5 minutes as, you know, Drake is up, Baron's up right now. Or sorry, Drake will be up in about 5 minutes. So definitely, you kind of already saw that they were willing to kind of give that up so far. As, you know, it is soul point, of course, but it is not going to be the soul itself. So I think they're willing to kind of hold off a little bit and wait till they have that. And hopefully they were trying to get a little more with Blue Chalky's Renekton splitting. But a quick teleport from Booty Bang ability does stifle any attempt to grab that last tower up there.
I'm also a little bit surprised that Fiddlesticks hasn't upgraded his Dark Seal into a Magi's yet.
Yeah.
He's at 10 stacks, so he would get the movement speed. He's definitely going to keep stacking it with how well he's playing. So being this all-star MVP right now, there's not really a reason not to do it. Sylas casts the Enchanted Crystal Arrow just across the map for the lulz of it. It's about to expire. Makes no difference to him. But that means he's not going to be able to grab that one for the next fight if they fight within the next minute and a half. So hopefully we see him grab that Crow Storm or that Unstoppable Force. I want to see him grab this Malphite or Fiddlesticks. I think it's a make or break decision for him. Fiddlesticks is everywhere he needs to be. His ultimates are perfect. Sylas can match it. He's got a Leandri's, he's got a Zhonya's, he's got Sork Boots. He's got just as many items as the Fiddlesticks does right now. So he'd do just as much damage as Fiddlesticks would do. Fiddlesticks is only 1,000 gold ahead, but it's sitting most of it in his pocket right now. And in that Dark Seal, he hasn't upgraded. So I think with that Leandri's, with that Zhonya's, Sylas with the healing on WCC on his E, I think got a really good chance of winning this next fight if he grabs the Fiddlesticks ultimate.
Right. So Corazon second is going to be the kind of player we're going to be watching that next fight right now. I think both teams are aware, kind of teeter-tottering around this Baron pit right now. Vision control is a little bit contested, but I'd say mainly is control of HyberNation, as they do have that direct kind of there. But they're trying to make an early pick onto Kopech, but I believe it was just either a little off so far, as looks like looks like Kopech is able to kind of walk away with no repercussions.
Yeah, it's really greedy to try and Pantheon ultimate onto Kopech here. You know, he's super tanky. He's got Rocket Bell. I just don't see it really being the type of play. I think they're struggling to find their win condition here. And I've said it 5 times. I'm going to end up saying it 10 times until it happens or the match is over. But I don't care if Corazon has to flash to get in range for it. Just grab the Malphite or just grab the Fiddlesticks ultimate, post up around this Baron, bait a fight out, and turn it around. And I think you have yourself a win condition here. But currently, it's really looking grim. HyberNation coming in clean. They are playing to their win condition. They're playing to their strengths. They're all sitting on 2 to 3 items. Even Maokai is starting to have a lot easier of a time as he's finished his Imperial Mandate and is able to just throw saplings around everywhere and just chunk everybody out with this huge vision dominance.
Yeah, no, I mean, we can see that, this game has kind of slowed down a bit as that last Ocean Drake kind of expired about 4 minutes ago. And, both of them kind of playing a little safer so far, as, the Baron's the only real major objective up, and really trying to play that vision game as careful as they can, because they know that one failed team fight could be Baron, and it's really kind of instantly snowballed that game in either direction so far. Once again, vision is a bit contested, but we might see that fall off a little bit, as the next Ocean Drake is going to be spawning in about a minute, and that is likely going to be a pretty big team fight for both teams.
Yeah, it's sole point for HyberNation, so they can't let that one through. They didn't rush out the Scuttle Crab, so big mistake here. HyberNation's going to be able to secure that one for themselves. Pretty big deal when you're trying to play around the Fiddlesticks, have the vision of where they are so they can't collapse on you when they want on their terms, and you let them get the vision, the movement speed of the Scuttle Crab, and Silas just goes ahead and takes Gromp. I think that's going to really hurt them. This should be, honestly, off of that decision right there, pretty much a free soul for HyberNation.
It might just be, you don't even see any red wards kind of near the Dragon Pit. They have to go in blind, and there's not even a good flank ward for Blue Chocolatey to try and get. Wait, they did get a Squires. No, just kidding. The blue ward just popped up and then got instantly attacked by the Ouch Mouse, popping up with a zone. The Bean Salty is trying to curtain call to do that, but the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to be there in response. There you go. There's the Malphite ultimate for Corazon right now. That's being a hooked Malphite, and they're going to be looking to try and get but they can. Next is going to be flashing in the, oh my, that's a lot of damage to both ends right now. Blue Chocolatey and Tet just taking up so much damage, but Punchello is actually just putting out so much damage so far. The Ouch Mouse does fall himself, but in the end, Punchello is now online. So that early pressure that you get from the early in the game, now you're letting your Ashe kind of scale up, and that's giving you an ace from the side of HyberNation.
Punchnello with the lethal tempo, fully activated Q with the Ranger's Focus, Runin's Hurricane Kraken Slayer. Dear God, comboed with the Crow Storm. 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 damage had to have been dealt during that fight between the two of them. Maybe more. Galio did exactly what he needed to do. Malphite did exactly what he needed to do. Maokai did exactly what he needed to do that fight. And HyberNation is looking so damn clean right now. It is so impressive to watch this level of team play just work perfectly for 28 and a half minutes straight so far this game. Silas took the Unstoppable Force. He had a good 3-4 target person ultimate, but it didn't cancel Fiddlesticks' Crow Storm, so he still got it out. He just pressed Zhonya's when he was about to die, rode the fight out, and let Ashe do the rest, and that's going to be soul point. That's going to be a full-blown ace for all of that gold. Now, for the first time this game, HyberNation is tied up in gold, despite their CS disadvantage. This Baron's looking very tasty to them.
Very tasty indeed. And, you even saw, kind of looking back at that last fight so far, HyberNation playing it really well, to kind of holding their cards and not blowing everything at once, and being able to kind of manipulate that team fight the way they needed to. Although it looks like there's gonna be another one over by the the Baron, as Kopak is go gold and tries to get the Crow Storm is in there. He is just free to do it. There is no stopping this man so far. Ponchelo goes on a rampage. Blue Chocolatey is there, but is much too late. Booty Bang Ability goes on a killing spree, and the Crocodile is just kind of sitting there, kind of twiddling his thumbs, doesn't really know what to do as he is late to that fight.
Yeah, Bean Salty played that really well. Unfortunately, he didn't have Flash, and he got chain CC'd before he was able to use his Gale Force, but he's playing incredibly well. He's got the CS he needs, but without having the ability to burst out Fiddlesticks or get into the backline to deal with Ashe, Jin's just kind of left to be using these slow firing 4 shots to chunk out either a Galio or a Malphite. Malphite's close to impossible for him to kill right now. He doesn't have a Dominique's finished quite just yet. He's almost got it. A smart build path by him. It's going to be close to, I imagine, an Infinity Edge soon as well. So an oncoming power spike for Jin. He's playing well, but Pantheon and Renekton have kind of descaled at this point. Silas, he's still pretty strong right now, but he's going to start falling off a little bit soon, especially as he's now had to finish this Morellonomicon just to try and help his team instead of building a lot more damaging aggressive item. Smart choice by Pantheon to pick up the Silver Mirror Dawn, but it's only 1 CC that you cleanse and then 40% tenacity after, so it doesn't work on the Airborns. You have 4 Airborns on HyberNation's team comp that tenacity doesn't affect, so it's a smart choice, but I think the draft is just so clean here. It's going to be very difficult to find a way. I still believe they can do it. The cards are on the table for them, but I gotta hand HyberNation this one for really turning this game around.
Yeah, HyberNation with that Baron so far, I think they're able to use that Baron buff to secure some of these early towers that they weren't really able to get in the kind of the earlier stages of the game. So they're kind of picking up some of these right baseline towers right now, kind of doing what they can. And this doesn't necessarily say that Team Solo Queue isn't much of a deficit so far. Even though they're down a good number of kills, but they're really only down like 1k gold so far. And so they have the momentary Baron buff. They still do have Ocean Soul, but I think we can see with the individual plays and farm from those members, they still are in there when it comes to the gold. But it might not matter when you're dead so far, because Arceus Pantheon is dead. The shield is going the wrong way. The Silver Mirror Dawn doesn't matter when there's so many layers of CC, and that's going to be a kill for Ponchelo.
Yeah, nice Ashe arrow coming out there with his Baron buff. They might just push through for a free inhib, uncontested, unless TSQ thinks they can win a fight under their turret, but
Crow Storm is still up.
Really tough.
Yeah, they're taking down this tower. They're posturing aggressively. Wait, they actually caught the taunt on B. There goes the Malphite ultimate right on top. Everything is layering right on top of their far. Blue Chocolatey is on the back line, trying his best to get something in return, but that Alligator isn't enough. In the end, Fiendfire is just tanking up so much damage, being the tree he is. That's going to be 2 members down from, well, actually only 1 member. They only got Bean Salty. Arceo is back up from that previous pick, but it doesn't matter. The assault from HyberNation is just so strong right now as they take out 1 Nexus tower. Kopak goes gold as Blue Chocolatey goes into that backline so far, but it doesn't matter. This team is just so strong that Ocean Soul is just doing so much damage, so much healing. That's a triple kill from Ponchelo, and they're bringing us to game 3.
Yeah, very clean, very phenomenal game from HyberNation. Have to give that one to them. Very well deserved. We saw TSQ kind of stray away from their win condition in the last game, struggle a little bit there. They're not really doing the split pushing that they did. No 1-3-1s with this teleport, global ultimate advantage that they had last time. And I think they definitely have a good chance to come back. The drafting, both of these games have been very one-sided. So even as great as this game went, it almost looked the same if you go back to the last game with how unstoppable Renekton was the whole time and the Ashe Galio bottom lane was the whole time. So don't rule them out, because game 1, they played phenomenally. Game 3, if we get the proper draft, this is a coin flip. This could be in anybody's favor.
Yeah, anybody's favor indeed. HyberNation and Team Solo Q Academy both showing a level of team fight aggression that is just kind of unparalleled, kind of to themselves so far. And you can kind of even see when it comes to the goal difference of the game, it's kind of swinging up and down. But in the end, that's going to be a big hike up for the blue side towards the later half of the game, and really just using what their comp is made to do, just to kind of secure out that last game and so far. And really, especially as I said from last game, uh, the 80 the 80 for HyberNation, pumping out the damage similar to last game. So really just kind of doing his due diligence on whatever team comp he's in.
Yeah, I was not expecting that, but Ash at 20k damage, Fiddlesticks only at 17, Galio being at 16k. It looked so one-sided in Fiddlesticks, but like that Drake fight I was talking about, Ash is putting in so much work with this Runins, with this Krakens, not needing the Gale Force, not needing the Immortal Shield Bow, saying, I know I'm normally a safer pick, but let's go full force aggression here. Does run them down. Everybody on TSQ putting a lot of damage out. So Renekton, Pantheon, Silas, Jhin, all pretty much tied in damage. When you want to see most of it coming out from Jhin is pretty rough. The team comp not really having a clear win con. The Silas pick was great, but unfortunately didn't really get it to activate perfectly. We'll see what they're going to decide to do to transition into game 3.
Yep. Speaking of game 3, the teams are prepping for this series match. Play the discount silver scripts for our best of 3. We're going to game 3, but we'll catch you right there right after this break. Welcome back, Affliction Esports Week 2. We got a banger. It's a series. HyberNation, TSQ Academy, tied 1-1.
Yeah, going to game 3. Gotta love it. Love to see it. Really interesting because TSQ came out so strong game 1. Ahead in gold the entire game 2, but HyberNation really just played to their strengths and ran that game through. So we'll see what they decide to do. It looks like bans are going to be exactly the same thing. So we'll see what they decide to go for with this drafting phase. But I think both teams know exactly what they want to do. Both teams want to be the ones with all the CC, running all the engage with the pick potential. It worked game 1 for TSQ, and it worked game 2 for Hyper. Ash is definitely going to be a priority pick right now. And that Fiddlesticks ban
there's that Fiddlesticks
is very
ban.
warranted. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, HyberNation grabbing that kind of crucial Galio so far. But, I mean, I think the name of the game this draft for Game 3 is going to be Joe's draft adaptation so far. You know, you've seen the explosive playstyle, teamfight playstyle from both teams, and really trying to see how they're going to adapt this to try and kind of give and take and what they're going to prioritize so far. You know, HyberNation so far really focusing on that Galio. TSQ Academy sticking with Bean Salty's Jhin, but switching over to the Volibear, which I personally like a little over the Pantheon.
Is that a Volibear jungle that you think he's going to play?
I can see it. I think I can definitely see it, especially since we've had, you know, strong picks like Renekton going over to Blue Chocolatey, and so far, you know, hasn't been banned in the first rounds. I don't see why you not take it. And I think it just really kind of complements that.
Yeah, it's a little bit less of an engage, a little bit less of a pick, but very bruiser, high tank. You can... Seraphine keeps getting banned out, so it's really hard to get something on the support side. Maybe a Leona, maybe a Nautilus again. If they just have the bruiser to run through CC this time, instead of a lot squishier of a team comp like the Eclipse Pantheon, maybe they'll just accept the CC being thrown at them and just be tanky enough to survive it. Say, now that your CC's down, now that your peel is down, we're all still at half HP. Let's go and fight this. Jin's just sitting in the back with Deadly Flourish, a Kurt Call, and Trap set up. He doesn't care if his team's getting engaged on. He's going to still be getting his damage out safely. So drafting is the Cassiopeia.
There's the Cassio.
Pick. Yeah, they actually ban that out the first round, and they end up picking it the third round. So afraid of letting it go over to HyberNation, but then they steal it this game. Kind of tough to try and play that into Malphite, though.
Yeah, no, that is true. And even though I think that Malphite doesn't, you know, it's a little doesn't really matter too much. I do really like the Cassiopeia, just like we talked about the last draft, as that miasma is really, really difficult to maneuver around, especially if you're caught there vulnerable or you're able to kind of land that just before and engage so far. So not only that, I mean, it's also a very good zoning tool too, to kind of make sure you can kind of control where you want the fight to be, especially with kind of the Jhin who really wants to be kind of a certain place at a certain time.
Corazon has also definitely played very aggressively this entire series. So you put him on Victor, who's got a lot of damage late game. Early game, mostly just poke, and he's just poking his life away, right? Stacks his tier super fast. Stacks his Hex Tech shards super fast. He just gets a lot of gold, a lot of lane advantage, but he's not a true DPS champion until late game. Pick up Silas. Early game, fighting left and right, but not getting the damage he needs against the Galio, but he's sustaining, so it ends up working out anyways. Late game kind of falls off a little bit. What's the answer? Picking up something like the Cassiopeia. Early game, you still have a lot of poke, but you're against the Galio, so you already know you're not going to be killing him. Just stack those tiers, farm into the late game, and just be the carry that you're trying to be this whole game. Don't worry about having to steal a specific ultimate or be in a specific spot at a certain time. Just put your miasma down, drop your petrifying gaze, and do your damage like a Gatling gun, and it's going to work out for you. So Maokai gets grabbed. Kayn, I imagine, should be going red Kayn to complement this. Maybe he's going to go assassin stance. Try and kind of dive into this backline Cassiopeia and Jhin would be pretty interesting, but Orianna mid with a... Oh, I like the Orianna a lot.
Yeah, right.
Fiddlestick's not too bad. But okay, there it is. There it is. The Orianna Malphite Galio combo. Kayn definitely can go assassin stance this game if he wants, depending on what the total draft is going to look like here for TSQ. He's got his work cut out for him. You're going to have a melee support, possibly top, and a definite melee jungler. So yeah, real easy to get that Rost out. If he decides to go for range, he can be ganking Jhin and Cassiopeia. Really hard to catch him out. Very little CC for TSQ this game. They have a lot of reversal. You try and engage on Camille. She pops her ultimate. She disengages from the fight, becomes invincible for a second, and locks you down. Cassiopeia throws the miasma in there. Volibear and Maokai jump in. Jhin just fights in the back. I could see it going pretty well for him if they don't lose the early game. But HyberNation played a very strong team fighting comp last game. They ran the same thing again this game. So if they can just have a repeat, should go the same way for them. But it's going to be a little bit harder with that Maokai, Camille, and Volibear for it to work as efficiently. I still think we'll see it work out for them. We'll just have to see if they're able to get a gold lead to guarantee that the damage is enough with this combo.
Yeah, no, and that is true. And yeah, that's actually where the question of damage I really like from TSQ Academy, kind of adapting their style to kind of, I think, fit what you're kind of seeing, and especially what you've seen in last game. So, you still have the Jhin, these the chunks of damage, physical damage you get from the Jhin, but then adding, that kind of immense magic damage DPS with the Cassiopeia, and then also the kind of the clutch Camille with the true damage as well. Not only just makes it really easy to go on the engage and assassinate key squishies like Orianna or Ashe, but then also makes it incredibly easier to take down key tanks like the Malphite and the Galio. So I think that precision protocol true damage is going to matter a lot from Blue Chocolatey.
Yeah, interesting first time playing something other than Renekton I've seen, at least so far. So I don't have any say on how his Camille's going to be, but if he plays Camille as well as he plays Renekton, Booty Banging Billy's going to be in for, let's just say, a hard time, because what I wanted to say probably is not PG-13. It's got to be a really tough laning phase for him, to say the least. Malphite is not going to enjoy this. He's going to get poked out. He's going to get hard engaged on. She can just ignore his ultimates and 1v1s, 1v2s. Trying to gank him in the top lane is Kayn. Camille's just going to hook shot away. You're wasting your time. So, okay, what do? We gank mid lane. Pre-6, you have an Orianna and not Rost Kayn yet. So no real CC there either. Jungle is Volibear, so you could probably counter jungle him a bit, but it's going to be really hard to shut down a Volibear. His clear is healthy. It's pretty good. His 1v1 is strong. So I think they're going to have to play bottom side. They have Ashe Galio. We've seen it work out really well for him. It's going to be Jhin Maokai. I think the Maokai should have an easier time against the Galio than he did against the Nautilus, but just like game 1, just like game 2, all these drafts are Blue Chocolaty's favor in the top lane or bottom lane fighting. So it's going to be Blue Chocolatey going for fights in the top side, or we're going to have skirmishes left and right in bottom side. Corazon, he's an aggressive player. We know what we're going to see, but I don't think he's going to be getting the kills too early on. He's going to at least need to get a finished item. Maybe the tier lost chapter, and then he can start fighting a lot more, but Kopek being a safe player, playing the Orianna, we're going to see a lot of fights gravitating towards this bottom side. 5-6 minute Drake, I can almost guarantee getting picked up this game.
Yeah, I know. Once again, I think it is going to be a question of that ADC diff so far from both sides. Being salty, getting his preferred Jhin once again, punching low on the Ashe, which he did very well on last game, and consistently putting out damage, regardless if it's a win or loss. So we're gonna see, which AD carries gonna have to step up for this time, but see who kind of will take this last game of the series and take this ultimate win in Affliction Esports Week 2. We'll catch you in Game 3 after this break. Welcome back, Affliction Esports. Week 2, we got a banger. It's the series decider. Best game 3 between HyberNation and Team Solo Q Academy. It's 1-1, and one of these teams is going home with the L today.
Yeah, based on the first game, I would easily say it's TSQ, but then based on the second game, I'd easily say it's HyberNation. So this is gonna be an interesting game. I cannot see this being a 20-minute victory. I imagine both teams are going to take this so slow. They're going to take this so smart. We're going to hit 35, maybe 40 minutes on this game, depending on how big the gold lead gets. Drake fights, Barons, Rift Herald plays are just going to be huge fiestas. Very heavy team play from both teams. So I'm very excited going into this game.
Yeah, as am I. I think if you were around for game 1 and 2, you saw the team fight prowess of both of these teams when they had the advantageous draft. And now, with their kind of respective adjustments kind of going into game 3, you know that they're not going to be messing around and that they're really going to be making sure that their team fighting skills are kind of to a crisp and making sure that there's not going to be none apparent blunders.
Yeah, we haven't seen a Volibear jungle in a long time. I'm a little bit interesting to see how he's going to do with the new mythics. I'm sure Volibear was designed as a jungler, even though he's been played topside. So his jungle clear is going to be good. He's going to have some good objective control, being able to keep casting his W, chomping on Drake, chomping on Baron, chomping on Rift, and just getting those heals up. But I think a lot of action top lane and a lot of action bottom lane is what we're looking forward to this game.
Yeah. The two sides of the map, that's really where it's going to be the focus so far. But, even kind of looking at the summer so far, I think the previous game so far, that's going to be the TPs coming in from the top and the mid lane. And with certainly Dragon Control being so important, I'm expecting to see a lot of the action be in that bot lane. And hopefully some kind of vision control around that area from both junglers to see where they can kind of find those areas, where they can find the key TPs.
Yeah, Conquer a decision on the Cassiopeia this game instead of a phase rush. He is ready for these fights. He thinks he's going to be able to stay in these. His team is going to frontline for him. And if that is true, his sustain is going to be absolutely insane. Fight breaks out on the bottom side.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Being salty, though. Ooh, flashes right out of the Ouch Mouse W with Ofar, but is able to get out. Both flashes are needed, but a successful escape with their lives from the bottom lane of Team Solo Q Academy.
Yeah, a lot of damage going on to the Maokai, so Kane's going to get quite a bit of stacks this early on in the game. Burning both those flashes, really, really good for him. Jhin taking cleanse this game once again. Doesn't need to use it. He's just going to flash away. I think I'd rather use the cleanse first, but depending on if Galio is able to get on top of him or not, it might be better just to cleanse the taunt and not have the flash.
Yeah, and actually, even though HyberNation didn't get the kill in that bot lane, that is a plate going over to the bottom side from HyberNation, as well as Being Salty missing probably like 1.5-ish waves to that turret as he had to walk back and recall.
Yeah, going to be close to a cheater recall on the Ashe here as a gank breaks out in the mid lane.
But the Ouch Mouse at it once again with the Kane, getting a W. He sees that Corazon has no mana, but isn't really able to do much besides just have a little fun visit to get a little poke.
Showing some presence, but mid lane pretty much ungankable right now until one of the two of them really kind of gets their CC going. Orianna's going to need ultimate. Cassiopeia is going to need ultimate before a lot of plays are going to be made in this mid lane. It's just going to be a slugfest. Once they both get tiers and they get their lost chapters, it's going to be a different story because they're not going to go So fights are going to break out left and right, as we see one breaking out in the top lane.
Yeah, right here. There you go, the hook shot. There you go, Booty Bang and Billy is just trying to walk as much as he can, trying to save Flash. Does have to eventually use it. There is Flash on both sides. That could be the Flash Bear Slam for the side of Team Solo Q Academy.
Yeah, super nice gank by Volibear here. Blue Chocolatey showing just as much dominance as Camille, as we saw in Renekton. Very nicely played. Some good hook shots. Nice place W. Pressuring his Q correctly. So I think we are in for a treat to see some very high-level Camille mechanics and gameplay. Definitely being probably one of the most important, if not kind of the key figure on their team this game. She's got a lot of follow-up on the team, but unless Maokai ults first, realistically, Camille's kind of got the weight on her back to try and figure out how to set these fights up for her team. Whereas their work's cut out. When you got a Malphite, you got a Galio, and you got a Kayn who looks like he's going Rost, the Orianna's just going to get her Shockwave off in any kind of way. You know, it does, even she could just sombrero it herself with a flash.
Yeah, but speaking of Flash right now, Fiendfire is going to have to actually just a double TP from the bot lane so far. HyberNation putting a lot of resources. That's going to be a response TP from Team Solo Q Academy. Mountain Drake is up. It was pinged about a minute ago by Tet. They know that this is the focus, and luckily they have priority so far as they're the first to the pit, and they avoid any immediate fight. But they do have priority on getting to the Drake. There is no ultimates from the side of Team Solo Q Academy or HyberNation so far, so it's going to be just raw skill right here as Fiendfire gets in, finds two. Kronzone will find that kill in response. Baron back, the dragon is going down pretty low, but that's actually going to go over the side of HyberNation as the Ouch Mouse grabs that double kill over to the side of Corazon the second, and that's going to Kopek falling just slowly more, and that's going to be a triple kill going over to Corazon the second.
That is exactly what I was expecting. So I am pleasantly unsurprised. We saw the 5.5 minute 5v5 bottom side with 4 teleports. 3, my bad. Cassiopeia roamed for it, so at least she's still got a teleport. But the 5v5 bottom lane at 5.5 minutes, the 6-minute Drake fight. I have not seen a 5v5 6-minute Drake fight in a very, very long time. It's an extremely aggressive play from them, and it pays out. They get 3 kills. They do lose the Drake, but they're 2k gold up, so it's what, 1 mountain? Not a big deal. We got Ocean coming up next, so it's going to be an Infernal or Cloud Soul this game, and if HyberNation is able to get one of those 2 in their pocket, it could be their win condition. But if they stack Infernals or Clouds on TSQ and get up to 4 of them,
oh my god,
that's going to be massive.
Yeah, absolutely. This is where I'm actually seeing some really smart decision making from Team Solo Q Academy. There was that scuffle in the bot lane, and while they didn't need to kind of respond with the TP of their own from the double TP from HyberNation, they know they wanted that early Drake, and especially because that they know that there was no ultimate on either side, and as you can even see, the inefficiency of HyberNation's team comp without their ultimate so far. They were just kind of torn to shreds by Corazon the second, and as a result, they were able to capitalize that and get an early lead before those ults came in online.
Yeah, really strong patience here from Volibear as he's looking for a gank. Might not be able to find it as the Orianna's playing really safe, so he's going to rotate up, but Rift's on the board, and Red Team should have priority for this.
Yeah, Rift is on the board right now, and that's going to be RCO's Volibear heading up so far, but the Ouchmouse isn't too far behind. Booty, Bang, and Billy is trying to get one. Actually, doesn't get dodge from the Hextech ultimate so far, but the Ouchmouse will take down the Camille in return so far, as that is a big bear, but not big enough to be tower diving.
I gotta give it to Blue Chocolatey. I was thinking that close to a Malphite is going to be pretty damn hard to dodge that unstoppable force, and he still managed to do it. The Hextech ultimatum on Camille was used to dodge Malphite's ultimate. Kayn coming in for a nice counter gank. Was enough damage to finish her off, but that could have been a 0-2 backfire if he wasn't able to get that off and stay alive for so long. So a lot of credit to him. Very solid Camille this game, being such a key target on his team, playing this well. It's looking pretty good for them. They still have this gold lead now, 2.2 thousand still. So we'll see what kind of plays they can make. Rift Herald's on the board, and it looks like TSQ is going to rotate towards that.
Yeah, I mean, especially since they didn't get the Mountain Drake they wanted from the beginning, I think they're definitely going to try and pick up something kind of in consolidation so far. I mean, not saying that they need a lot of pickup as they are up kind of 2k from the previous couple fights and just the individual CS differences, but certainly if they want to kind of snowball this game and make sure that they have a solid hold on this game, they kind of take any chances so far.
Yeah, I like that we got Corazon on Cassiopeia this game too, and he got the triple kill. We gotta love to see it. He's playing a champion that's a lot more geared towards his playstyle. He's able to make a flash engage with the petrifying gaze. So we got some very interesting team fights coming up. Next Drake with that triple kill, close to a finish Leandri's, is going to be a lot riskier for HyberNation to contest. I want to give a quick shout out to Fiendfire. The reason they were able to steal that Drake is because she did flash in and get a 3-person airborne into taunt. So she put a lot of pressure down. They had to turn and burst her. Volibear got stalled out long enough that Kane was able to come in and sneak that Drake. So she may have died. They might have died a little bit more.
Oh, wait, hold on. Flash right onto the bottom lane of HyberNation so far. That's going to be an easy kill on the Puncello. For any Fiendfire may be the next. Adjusted Punch doesn't connect but is forced to flash. He has to walk out as Being Salty takes a shot from the shooting gallery and takes him down himself.
Yeah, I was just talking about Fiendfire died. A hero, a little bit less this time, but just a really solid gank setup here. Being Salty knows exactly how to fight these out as Jhin. Every time a play is made bottom side, he makes it work one way or another.
Ooh, Enchanted Crystal Arrow for max range. Done on the core zone second. The ultimate goes wide, and that's a shutdown for Kopek.
Yeah, with the Galio, not having ultimate still, this might be contestable. Ashe is going to be late, doesn't have the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. If they rush this Drake out, they will be able to pick it up. Kane easily can contest if he's able to pass through the wall and steal it, but he's just going to get zoned out.
Yeah, unfortunate zoning. They did have the Galio ultimate right now, but RCO was level 8 and therefore had a higher smite level than the Ouchmouth so far, so maybe didn't want to risk it so far. Didn't want to get too much trouble. Kopek is forced to flash out for a little mid lane scuffle, but the bear doesn't matter. He goes unstoppable and takes a chomp out of Kopek for a solo kill. Oh, wait, outplay unstoppable force on the blue chocolatey.
Yeah, the Hextech ultimatum was used a little bit too early. Booty Bang and Billy saying, I'm not going to fall for this one twice. Turns that around. 0 and 3. Picks up a solo kill to Camille. She's sitting on a lot of gold. Hasn't hit the finished Trinity Force power spike yet. So shouldn't have picked the fight quite just yet. I still think once she finishes that Trinity Force, Camille is still going to be able to fight this Malphite. Just has to wait a little bit. She does true damage on her Q recast. So even as tanky as he gets, Camille's not going to complain too much about trying to contest him in mid-game, but a nice kill for him as they picked up a kill mid lane against Cassiopeia for shutdown gold on Orianna, a key champion in their team. They give up a Drake, but it's the same thing as we saw at 6 minutes. We'll get a bunch of kills, we'll get some shutdown gold, but you can have the Drake, and now HyberNation did the same. They're the ones who get the kills and lose the Drake.
Yeah, so far away. Actually, Corzon caught on the edge of that shockwave, is trying to force to use that ult reactively. Goes a little wide so far as Being Salty tries to trade a little bit into Puncello. Oh wait, Gale Force is in to try and get the fourth shot. The curtain call opens up. There's going to be a TP coming in from the side of HyberNation so far. Team Solo Q is a bit on the defense now as they see Booty Bang and Billy TPing in. I'm not sure if they know if they have his ultimate yet, but they didn't want to risk it and they back off.
Yeah, Ashe held her Enchanted Crystal Arrow the entire fight there. Not sure why she didn't use it, at least for the damage. When Jhin Gale forced in, he was very confident if she did stun him, he could cleanse it, holding that stun. Very smart decision there, so the flash away was in good taste. But when he popped the curtain call, she could have just canceled it. Really put themselves on the rope and forced that teleport from Malphite when it wasn't really needed.
Yeah, and actually, if you didn't catch it right now, actually, Puncello did try to use the Enchanted Crystal Arrow to try to catch out Corzon the second. Again, does go wide a little bit, but that is going to be on cooldown for the next minute or so.
They're really putting a lot of pressure on Orianna. First turret's going to get picked up by Camille with full turret plating taken, so she's back up to being pretty far ahead in CS, and, well, not CS, but gold. She's 1,000 gold up.
No, wait, Flash Volibear, he goes in. He does have the ultimate as the Ouchmouse is kind of caught out in the backside, isn't able to get in there. Does ultimate inside Jhin to try and survive a little bit so far, but that bear is just so tanky so far. Puncello is the next. There's going to be the root, there's going to be the stun, there is going to be the double kill for Arceus Volibear.
That Volibear healed around 550 health from Triumph over that fight. Conquer fully stacked, recasting that Frenzied Maul for the heal on that too. He healed over half his health during that fight, plus an additional 250 from casting his ultimate. He is just so tanky. doing exactly what he needs to do, starting the fights, blocking all of the damage, and living through it. But Malphite's going to rotate down. He does have ultimate available.
Who do you think Billy is? Maybe looking for something, but I believe it's just really by himself. Maybe he's expecting something out there, but he has to use the unstoppable force defensively to avoid getting caught out in an awkward 3v1 situation. Fiendfire does go back in to try and find something. The Ouchbaus is now in Rost mode so far. Being Salty may be caught up, but RCO may be the next one caught out. Being Salty gets the Deadly Force to try and kite out so far. He still is there. Oh! Insane ultimate from Corazon II to dissuade and disengage and turn the tables on this team fight as he picks up a double kill. The current call opens up as a triple kill for Corazon II. Fiendfire tries to have the fanciest feat, but he then says no as he picks up a kill for himself.
Yeah, quite a reverse sweep there. I was about to say that fight looked really unfavorable from how much gold is sitting in their pockets. Jin's got 2,500 in his pocket. Cassiopeia's got 2,000. Even the support Maokai is sitting on 2,000 gold right now. And they still win that trade because everybody is losing the coordination on HyberNation that we saw last game. The Kayn went in too early without the follow-up from the Ashe Arrow. Malphite went in way too early and didn't have the ultimate. The Orianna got zoned out without teleport to get in, and no ultimate from Fiendfire to Hero's entrance into that. Just instantly tap the taunt, so no CC duration on the Jhin. The longer he charges it, the longer the taunt is. Really kind of discoordinated there, and it shows with how much that backfired on them. Now 7,000 gold lead as the third Drake is spawning this game for TSQ.
Yeah. No, I mean, TSQ not only a blunder from HyberNation with sort of uncoordinated engage right there, but, props to Being Salty for being very disciplined. And, you can notice he still has Flash. He did use Cleanse, I believe, and he was using a Gale Force, but he was very disciplined in that, didn't blow the Flash early, and was really just pretty disciplined at keeping it where he needed to be, and was able to contribute a lot of damage to that fight until more backup came.
Yeah, they're going to pick up this Drake. Gotta love a call out Drake on champions like Cassiopeia, Jhin, Maokai, these playmaking ultimates. Lower the cooldown is, the more picks you get to make. A good rotation here. Ultramouse just decides to pick up a Rift instead. Says we can't have it all, but we'll take something. It'll be some turrets, kind of help with this gold deficit, but 2 Drakes to 1, 2 turrets to none, and a 7k gold lead. It's looking pretty good for TSQ Academy.
Yeah, TSQ Academy having a pretty good lead so far. And even contrary to what we were saying at the beginning, I was saying it was really a lot in the blue chocolatey right now. That's going to be that kind of a lot of good performances coming out from Being Salty, Corazon II, and RCO's Volleybear so far, really being the shining stars of Team Solo Q Academy and kind of making the plays while blue chocolatey kind of scales up.
Yeah, I think I still got to give credit to HyberNation. I'm really liking this draft. Kopek has been playing Orianna pretty well, got some good shockwaves. We do have Rost on the Kayn stance now, so he is going to have that really tanky AoE airborne kind of survival that we see. Some Grievous Wounds is going to shut that down quite a bit, but they don't have it just yet. So this next fight, Kayn's going to be really difficult to deal with. Malphite doesn't ult early. This might be the first fight we see HyberNation team comp actually come to light and show its strengths.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that we're really lacking from HyberNation, and I'm really excited to see as the game has kind of slowed down a little bit, even though, Team Solo Q Academy has had the kind of edge on some of these earlier fights so far. As they kind of scale up and everything, I'm still want to see HyberNation's kind of full 5-man and see the potential, just like we saw from the last game. And I think it's definitely there, especially with big picks from Kopek's Orianna, because even in lane, he was just really getting those individual shockwaves pretty well. So I can't imagine what it would be like in a team fight situation.
Yeah, you get the Malphite ult in with the Orianna. Galio complements it, but it looks like Red Team's going to be the one to engage here.
Wait, yeah, actually, Blue Chocolate is going to be the first to find Fiendfire, but the Oh, wait, actually, that's going to be a deadly... that's going to be the Enchanted Crystal Arrow right there. It's going to find someone. Shockwave is going to find Blue Chocolatey. Blue Chocolatey are kind of being bounced around in the bounce house right now. Being Salty does open up the curtain, but slowly closes it right now as he tries to run away from certain death. Goes on a killing spree before he has his dying breath so far, and that's actually going to be HyberNation and kind of turn the fight around.
Yeah, interesting to see TSQ force the Maokai ultimate, really come in with the Nature's Grasp, not get anything with it at all, and then just come back around for HyberNation and pick up 2 kills for none. Support Galio being the only one to die. Now Corazon is caught out.
Yeah, Corazon not gonna be having much. He does try to have the... Oh, wait, actually, he might get some here. He actually goes on a rampage and gets a trade kill before he goes down. Excellent use from the Petrifying Gaze to pick up the Orianna on the back end before he goes down.
Yeah, a bit of a shame Malphite picked up that shutdown. The 7-kill Cassiopeia shutdown is going to go on to the Malphite. He's playing well. He is important to the team. He's going to love finishing his Sunfire Aegis at this point. So, you know, I got to hand it to him. Not the worst champion to put it on. Better than the Galio, but still the 4th worst champion to pick up a 700 gold shutdown on when you got a Rost Kane and an Ashe right there fighting. Deciding to turn that very, very nicely from Cassiopeia was impressive display. Corazon being on a comfortable pick. Surprising that they banned their own Cassiopeia out game 1 when he's playing so dominant on it this game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And actually, Volibear trying to stop the Rift Tail, but is punished because of it. There's not going to be any more follow-up. There is going to be a TP, but being salty and Tet Maokai is on the flank so far. The Cloud Drake is going to be up in about 30 seconds, I believe. The Nature's Grasp does come out along with the Curtain Call. HyberNation is on the run. The Bear is running in incredibly fast so far, as Kopek Orianna will be forced to die as Cloud Drake is up in 20 seconds, and that's going to be a team fight 1 for Team Solo Q Academy.
Yeah, the Nature's Grasp have been a little bit weak by Tet. He's got some poor positioning of them, but it's still the pressure that it applies is so strong. Ultimates are available for blue teams that look for a fight here, but it is going to be a 4v5. They have to be very cautious.
Unstoppable Force is up, but that's kind of the really major ultimate they have left, along with the Ouch Mouse's ultimate as well. Cloud Drake is up, and Team Solo Q Academy is posturing to look for something right now. Ooh, that's going to be a Petrifying Gaze onto the Galio, and he's just going to go down like butter, but that's going to be an Unstoppable Force in the 2, but no follow-up, will be no damage, and that's going to be a double kill over to Corazon the second.
Yeah, Punchnello has to sit there and look pretty. No Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Dying front line. No mid line. Orianna not even in the fight. Just has to say, I salute you, my fallen brothers and sisters. We'll only make it a 3 death and Cloud. Pickup. Staying alive. With Orianna, they might be able to contest this Baron, but neither of them are in position to do so.
Yeah, no positioning, no vision from HyberNation. They're just going to have to give this as they're going to have to reset and hopefully just try to hunker down for the onslaught that's going to be Team Solo Q Academy with this Baron buff.
Yeah, HyberNation is just going to have to give this up for the next 5 minutes. They don't have any real playmaking potential. The Orianna is so far behind 1 item to 3 on Cassiopeia. Volibear just so massive, super easy to dive. He's just going to jump right onto these turrets with Stormbringer, shut them down, deactivate them. They'll finish their dive and walk away unscathed. Maokai, if he's fighting in lane, can't really mess up the aiming or angle of Nature's Grasp, his ultimate. So if he can get that 2-3 second snare off, Volibear just dives right in. Easy pickup, putting the pressure on the Orianna. It's going to be really rough. Malphite hasn't really been frontlining. He's been trying to sit on the side and look for a good ultimate to turn these fights around, but his team's getting engaged on and dying before they can even do that. Kane not having finished boots, he's got no tenacity. He doesn't really have a lot of tank resistance. He can heal up a bit, but he's not really healing if he dies too quick while he's stunned. So even at 24 minutes in, their team comp is struggling. They don't have the gold in the right places, and they haven't even really picked any fights that favor them.
I mean, right now, though, a good thing for HyberNation so far is that they did some good proactive sweeping of their jungle, was able to establish some vision as well as take whatever camps they could. That way, they were able to just kind of take the gold that was there, make sure that it doesn't go over to Team Solo Q, and just ready to hunker down for the prolonged siege with the Baron buff. And now that they're all up, you know, as you were saying with the Malphite kind of being a little more hesitant to kind of go in and waiting for his kind of backline ultimates, with the Orianna really needs to go in with the ball, look for that like large engage with the Unstoppable Force and the Shockwave, but may not be the smartest thing to do at the moment with Baron buff.
Yeah, that's their second control word they've cleared in that bush. Jin still has 2, and Maokai still has 2, but Unstoppable Force comes out.
Unstoppable Force only finds 1. Petrifying Gaze does stifle the engage. Oh wait, 3-man knockup from the Ouch Mouse. Galio is going to be locked up. In addition, RCO, the bear, is trying his best to do in there, but the bear and the Camille are trying to distract the backline of there. Meanwhile, the Ouch Mouse is trying to 1v2, but in the end, Bean Salty will be taking that kill himself. He opens the curtain so far as Fiend Fire does go down at the double kill for Jin. Look, Jin might be looking for more. Self Shockwave onto the Malphite. Unfortunately, isn't able to get away. Punchello will be the next. Oh, wait, actually gets a counter kill on the Blue Chocolate so far. As Asoyo goes on a killing spree, and Kopek is the only remaining survivor of HyberNation.
Yeah, that was a very promising fight, but Kopek ended up holding his ultimate for 20 to 30 seconds. Solo ulting a Volley Bear just for Peel against Ashe after the fight went through. Really, really rough for them. It was so close, but yet so far for them. This inhib is going to be a deal breaker. It puts them on a time bomb. We got super minions pushing down mid. Soul point on the board. Inhib's going to respawn as Baron is, so they'll be able to get one final super minion push for Baron.
Oh, nice Nature's Grasp to disengage so far. No counter engage from HyberNation so far as they take down 1. They take down 2. They might be looking for a 3rd, but big Booty Bang and Billy is on the pursuit and will dissuade any further kills going over the Team Solo Q Academy.
Yeah, his ultimate just came back up, but that much CC, it's just too hard to do anything against. And this double cloud, soon to be triple cloud, is just putting everybody's ultimates on such a low cooldown. It's hard to do anything when your ults are twice as long. When your Malphite, when your Ashe, when your Orianna ultimates are 80, 90, 100 seconds. And Jin's, who's normally supposed to be one of the longest in the game, is the same cooldown as yours. Jin's cooldown on his ultimate is 5 seconds shorter than Ashe's. Cassiopeia shorter than Orianna. It's absolutely insane to try and pick these fights when you don't even have ultimates available to you at any point in time. Kopek gets caught out.
Be caught out again so far. The Shockwave doesn't even touch him, and Blue Chocolatey is just able to get a free kill out there as the Ouch Mouse will get dunked on, goes on a rampage, and that's just going to be 2 members gone for HyberNation, and essentially a free Cloud Soul for Team Solo Q.
Yeah, I don't see how there's anything they can do to contest this. This will be a free pickup. They're going to base. They're going to reset after they do some farming. Volibear sitting on 2,500 gold. Probably go for their traditional split push. Just have, I would imagine, just sit the Cassiopeia in the team. Don't do a 1-3-1 with an already taken inhib. So we'll do 1 top, 4 bot. Maybe 1 bot, 4 top, since Baron's the objective spawning. And this is going to be a Baron in 1 minute and 10. Unless they just try and end the game here. It's a little bit greedy, but they're 14,000 gold ahead, so they can do it.
Yeah, I mean, Beast Salty does have the Curtain Call, and Tet does have Nature's Grasp, but it looks like they're trying to see some pressure, or just trying to pressure them off right there. Ooh, Tet actually gets Sun Down and Shockwave right there, as, ooh, wait, Bean Salty will be knocked up from the Ouch Mouse so far. HyberNation's trying to go for the pick that they need. Blue Chalk is actually on the backline, denying any sort of follow-up so far, but the Ouch Mouse is kind of huge right now with this Ross. He does go into the bear and trying to ultimate out. Does get some healing, but not enough as he gets blasted by Jin. Bean Salty goes unstoppable. That's a triple kill for Bean Salty, and that's going to be a quadra kill for Bean Salty's Jin, and that's kind of probably the end of the series.
Yeah, very, very well-deserved quadra for him to finish this game off. We got 20-30 seconds on the respawn timer. Super minions pushing down the Nexus turrets. That's going to be game 3 for TSQ Academy, coming out with a close series here. Very one-sided for each game, but still hard fought. None of these finishing in almost under 30 minutes.
Yeah, you know, very, very impressive game from Team Solo Q Academy. Really bringing the heat with their comp and playing it really to perfection and kind of shoring up some of the errors that they had in game 2 against HyberNation. And they're going to be taking that series 2-1.
Yeah, very well fought. Definitely a good series to watch. Entertaining. Game 2 was very hyped. It looked like HyberNation had it in the bag, and TSQ just brought it right back. So a 16,000 gold lead by the end of that game. So hard to deal with. And Jin Cassiopeia, Camille, Volibear, Maokai, all of them doing what they need to do, all of them playing so well together. They must have had a pep talk, a pep rally, and just said, all right, guys, get your head in the game. We're going to run this comp. We're going to run it hard, and we're going to get this win. And that's what they did.
A win indeed. But I do want to give some solace over to Team HyberNation, as once again, Poncello having a still decent performance on that AD carry role. Really, I mean, like even look at the damage graph, putting out a good amount of damage for his team, even though they were on the back step, unfortunately. But I think that I really appreciated the consistent amount of damage that he was able to show, and that he was able to kind of still keep a good performance on, regardless of what the situation was.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to give a lot of credit to Punchinello. Every game played so good on AD carry. I think this is the first game he lost in damage. I'm pretty sure game 1, his Xayah beat Ash's damage out. Game 2, his Ash beat the Jhin out. And this game, as one-sided as it was, second highest damage in the game on Ash. So Punchinello played very, very well this game. All 3 games, this whole series. So very, very high kudos to him. Jhin, they priority picked it. We can see why. Played it great last game, just kind of fell short a little bit. Played it great this game, saw the strengths of it. Putting Corazon on a champion he deserves to be on, giving him the limelight, giving him the Cassiopeia, making those flash petrifying gazes in. And Volibear. Pretty much just ran around and mugged everybody the whole game. I don't know. If you're a person with a scythe and there's a giant skyscraper-sized bear punching you in the face, I think the bear is going to win. And the whole game, that's exactly what he did. Having the second highest gold this game, being so insanely unkillable, being everywhere he needs to be at all points in time, all the objectives this game. Arceria just really played out of his mind this game on Volibear too. So credit to everybody. But yeah, Volibear and Jhin just really stuck together this game. Every play was hand in hand. Volibear goes in, Jhin kites from the back, and just really sweeping the lack of coordination they had last game to close to perfect coordination this game.
Yeah, close to perfect coordination. And I think one thing I really admired from Team Solo Q Academy was the sort of adaptability and the kind of flexibility to sort of pass on the role of carry pants to really whoever needed to perform on the day. In game 1 and kind of even in game 2, Blue Chocolatey on the Renekton, doing a splendid job out of all things. And then especially kind of going into game 3, passing that off, going to Arceria, Corazon, too, and being salty as well. And speaking of the man himself, I believe in a short bit, we'll be hearing from the man himself, being salty. So I got to kind of hear from him and kind of his thoughts from that banger of a series.
All right. Welcome, Bean Salty. Congratulations for your 2-1 reverse comeback. Very, very well deserved. Some beautiful AD carry mechanics. And I got to commend you on picking up that cleanse on the Jhin both games. A very smart and decisive decision. How do you feel about this series?
Oh, really good. I play right now. All my games I've been playing really well. My team has my back this whole time, and I feel really happy.
And that you should. What made you decide to go cleanse these last 2 games over the traditional heal?
It's just getting picks on Ash ulti, because if I get picked, I know that's some of my team's damage off, and I really don't want that. Plus, against Galio, his taunt early game could be really just lane changing, and then the last game, I think it was Ash, Maokai, and Maokai root with his ult. It just lasted a really long time. They had a lot of CC, but sadly, Malphite was my biggest counter last game. The second game, I mean.
Yeah, very unfortunate. His stun duration is an airborne, so even with that tenacity and cleanse, you're still stuck in the air. Basically, it doesn't do anything for you, but sure as heck helped you a lot early game. A lot of those picks were foiled. Some very definite first bloods would have come out against you if you didn't have that cleanse as well. A lot of dive pressure, some ganks 2 minutes in, 3 minutes in from Kane super early on. Even that 5v5 at 5.5, 6 minutes in, Cleanse saved you from that fight too. So very good decision. Glad to see that worked out for you. How do you feel that you coordinated with your team this game? Because I noticed your ultimates were almost always perfectly executed. Every time you cast your curtain call, you had somebody peeling for you and a bunch of people locking them down for the shots. Is that just kind of feel of the team, or did you think that you all were really able to shot call these heavy coordinated plays out?
It was a little bit of both. We'd all just go for picks, and as soon as I ulted, my support would just Tet would usually just be protecting me if anyone was on the flank for me, and I try to predict where who we were going for. If they would if Volibear's going for taunt or anything, I mean a stun, I try to predict the flash, and if she didn't flash, well, she would die to Volibear. And I think that's how we played a lot of our picks with my ult. And then I just look around with Volibear's stun or Camille E. It's just looking.
Yeah, so kudos to you one more. I do want to focus a little bit on your team now. Who on your team was doing most of the shot calling? Because that last game was close to flawless, and whoever it was is doing a pretty damn good job. So kudos to them and just your team as a whole.
I think Arcerio does most of the shot calling. He calls dives, he calls picks. Most of the time in the jungle, I constantly see him looking for picks and who has lane prio for Scuttle Crab and all that.
Yeah, well, he is very good at it, and he should keep doing it if that is the case. What is one thing you would like to shout out to your team right now?
They're all homies. I love them all. They're just the best.
They're all homies. You've heard it yourself. His team is the homies. And one final thing you'd like to say to your opposing team, HyberNation, put up a tough fight against you. Put you guys on the rope in that game too. Any comments or positive feedback you'd like to give them?
They played very well. I'm sorry to say this, but the top laner, I hate you for playing Malphite. It's just my biggest counter. What do I do?
Yeah, Booty Bang and Billy really picking the Malphite, closing out his drafts and putting a lot of pressure on you. The Jhin pick fell through because of it. So you were able to sit in the back line, use those deadly flourishes, use those curtain calls, and try and stay out of the danger zone from him. But sometimes he was able to collapse on you. Your Gale Force uses were great to be able to survive that. So kudos to you once again. Everybody give him a round of applause, and thank you for being here, being salty. It was absolutely glorious watching you play, and I look forward to seeing more of you in the future.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
You too, my man.
All right. You as well. That was the man, the myth, the legend, Being Salty on the Jhin. 25 KDA in that last game so far. So that'll wrap it up from us from here at Affliction Esports. That was our week 2 match, HyberNation versus Team Solo Q Academy, with Team Solo Q Academy taking the series 2-1. We'll catch you here next week on Sunday at 7:30 EST. And until then, I'm Eric Scott, and I will catch you soon.
I'm Coach Joe Bubby. Next time.